Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Casual KO. Heading into a pay-per-view weekend should be a great time. Last card actually delivered pretty well, man. It was fun as far as like exciting fights go. I don't think any one of us did very well with our picks. I don't want to speak for my co-hosts here. We'll have each one of them kind of recap what they did. I want to start off by telling everybody you guys can watch the big UFC 301 you know, picks and predictions video over there at Profit Picks YouTube. So make sure that you check that out. Want to get more traffic over there and just having a good time. We're picking fights. I had a very bad weekend last weekend because I went against my gut instinct and let these two fucking silver-tongued devils talk me into some shit. And I will never let you guys live that down for UFC Vegas 91. But
Hey,
Alex, how did
you
you?
placed your own bet, okay? Not us.
I know, but dude, so I was up $500 profit, and you guys had me feeling so fucking shady about Guskov heading into that co-main event. I put 400 of it on fucking Ryan Span, and
You're
I
a
felt
dumbass. You're looking for someone to blame.
I'm not looking for someone to blame. I fucking thought that I trusted you guys because I thought I was crazy. I go
See, you
dog
keep
hunting a
saying you
lot.
guys. You got to take some responsibility for your actions here, Mr.
I
Ryan.
I go dog hunting a lot. I shouldn't have put that much. You don't think I know that? You don't think I know I shouldn't have put fucking, you know, what is that? 80% of my winnings on one fucking fraudulent fighter wearing a Superman cape at the goddamn weigh-in or whatever the hell that was. Why is this dude wearing a Superman cape? He's wearing a fucking shower cap. Not a fan. Not a fan. So in the future, Ryan Spann's an automatic fade. But you guys had some good picks, right? I want to start with Alex. How was your week overall? Probably not the best, but I'm curious like how it actually ended up for you. Are you in the black or the red after last weekend?
We're in the we're in whatever break even color is because we had a very small slate. I lost on Tim Means, that was a heartbreaker. Won on Karine Silva, Mahishate, and broke even on a round robin. Not the best week for me, but I knew to go small because this card was all up in the air.
Yeah, it was a shady card, man. Jared, how did you end up, man? You said, privately it was a rough one.
Oh, horrible. Hands down, worst. It was the worst card of the year, and it was probably my worst picks. Probably like ever. I got like three right. And the one I spent the most time looking into, I got right, but I can't even feel good about it because it was pretty fucking close. The Hubbard fight could have
Okay.
gone the other way. So I can't even feel that good about that win. Bad week for me. We're in the red. We're looking to bounce back
You know,
strong.
it's a bad week for Jared when I don't tail all of his bets. Like I was like nitpicking. I was like, Gabriel
You
Benito,
saved
throw
yourself
that
some
off the
fucking
parlay and
bro.
then
You
I'll bet
saved
it.
money. You saved money
Uh,
not tailing me last week.
Well, yeah, I mean, I will say I think that your worst pick, Jared, was probably Mowgli, right? I mean, like, or
That was a
maybe
close
Man.
fight,
Maybe all of our fights, maybe all of our worst pick was Marnik Man. We were all on Marnik
easily.
Man just for the odds. So that's probably our worst pick, universally. We were all also on Nah, but at least Nah went out on her shield. Marnik Man just doesn't belong in the UFC, man. Like she simply does not belong in the UFC. So we're looking to bounce back. Um, Alex, your dog, Dirty Berg, did not cash. Neither one of your big bets cashed, Jared. But I mean, last week they did, right? Didn't they for UFC 300?
Yeah, but
You hit a couple.
we're beyond that. We're in the trenches from last week.
Yeah, I just don't like to throw too much shit at you guys because you guys do make good picks. It was just a fucking weird weekend, dude. I heard a lot of people saying how rough it was. I will stroke myself a little bit here. I picked three underdogs: Marnik Man, Bogdan Guskov, and fucking Onama, the wannabe Adesanya. And two of those three dogs hit. So if you would have done like a nice little round robin, as Alex likes to do, and done two out of three, you would have made some serious profit with that right there. Yeah, man, I felt good about those. And then, just a couple little birds got in my ear and made me switch the pick on Guskov. That's all on you guys. But honestly, man, fun weekend. I enjoyed it. It was still a good card, even though it was kind of a rough weekend. I felt like I just stole money from the casino with the boxing card last week, including that really, really fucked up split decision that I got in the co-main event. So you win some, you lose some. We're rolling into this week and we're feeling good. I'm gonna pull up Tapology here. We're gonna start talking about our shit. Anybody want to take this first fight of the night? There's a fly fucking with me in my house right now. So if you see me swiping around, I'm not doing it
Ryan,
to
I
you
think you had
guys.
the best week, dude. I think it's all you.
You want me to start? Okay. Yeah, I haven't written my picks down like I tend to do, but I am pretty excited about this one because not only is it a pay-per-view, I think it's a good pay-per-view, man. People are going to be like, "Oh, this sucks," because UFC 300 was such a great card on paper and such a great card, after the fact. But I will start this off. We've got Alexandre Costa versus Kevin Borjas. I'm going to pull it up on the screen so that you guys can see it as well. And I do kind of think I have a hot take right off the bat here, man. Alexandre Costa, he's gone in. He's fought some good dudes, like right off the bat. He's fought Amir Albasi, and he also fought your half of your co-main event this evening, and Steve Erceg. Lost to both of them, but Costa did have Erceg rocked at one point. His one win in the UFC is none other than Jimmy the Brick Flick, dude. Not a great win, but I'm a fan of Jimmy Flick, especially after I picked him to beat Malcolm Gordon. And he's got that special bond with his dad. Those kind of guys always play at my heartstrings. But let me tell you something right now, man. I think very highly of fucking Joshua Van. Very highly of Joshua Van. I think he's such a great striker. The body shots that he was landing on fucking Borjas in their fight. Incredible. He almost set a record, man. He was like 4 short of a record and in that division, by the way. So I think highly of Joshua Van. I think he's going to be a champion one day. He's only, I think, 22 or 24 years old. Borjas is very young himself. He's 26 right now. So I'm just going to come out and say it, man. I don't want to beat around the bush too early on because I'm sure we'll disagree a lot later. But I'm going to take Kevin Borjas in this. And I think that it probably goes to decision. And I'm worried about that in Brazil with the corrupt judges and all this weird shit there. But I think that Borjas just makes it non-negotiable. This is a hands down Borjas spot for me. I think he could finish him because I think he's just so fucking tough. And Costa hasn't really given me anything to be too excited about yet. But we'll see. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Jared, where are you at on this one, man?
I'm on the same page as you, dude. I'm taking Borjas. I do
Man,
like Costa. I see a lot of positives in his even in his losses. He's got fast hands, dude, and he keeps them high. He's not bad defensively, but the way he wants to fight, he likes to blitz. He likes to have those crashes where, he'll get in those wild exchanges just to land his big shots. Uh, he also has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. It'd probably be a good idea to use it in this fight against a guy like Borjas. Dude's got such good movement. He's really good at getting out of the way. And, after he lands his shots, he is a little open on the exits sometimes, but those are just little wrinkles in his game he can work out. I like the way he mixes up his striking. He's got the high output. He's got the explosiveness. If he tags you, he will take a risk if he thinks he got you hurt. I've seen this dude throw flying knees from as close as a clinch. This dude throws everything with intent to end the fight. It can wear on your gas tank as the fight goes on, but if this fight stays at range, it's going to be all Borjas, I think. I think he'll just really start to piece Costa apart. And Costa, he's got to make this an ugly fight if he wants to win. But I'm going to side with the guy I think's a little bit sharper, a little bit faster, and just going to be a step ahead on the feet. So I'm going to take Borjas to win a decision.
okay. Yeah, I said damn it because I thought that was a real hot take there. But apparently we found the same things. Alex, are you on the same side?
I'm on the hot take too. I like Borja second. This was one of the fights that stood out to
Ooh.
me as well. You got dog odds, guy who's higher output. You know, we all believe he's better on the feet, and he's coming off of that good fight against Joshua Van. And I mean, going 3 rounds with him, it does look good on paper.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that fight saying, this guy's not even that bad. And I could see him doing pretty well in the UFC in the future as well. I like him at dog odds here at plus 100. Wouldn't mind a dog shot on this. And, starting the card off with a 3-way sweep on the dog. I like it.
I do not because usually when we all agree on a dog, it doesn't work out too well for us. So I might do a little more tape study. But I mean, are you taking him by decision as well?
I think he has finishing capability. I'm going to go with I'm gonna go with knockout round two.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a couple people here and there picking Borjas outside of this show, but yeah, man, I think that it's been widely a lot of people on the side of Costa, and he is the Brazilian. Usually they want to set up a Brazilian to kind of get things going in Rio, right? So we'll see. I might do a little more tape study, but I felt really good about Borjas, man. I loved his performance against Joshua Van. UFC jitters be damned, he went out there and fucking did it pretty damn well. So, Alex, you can take this one first. Jared, you can go after that. I will go next. I think we should keep this one short just so that we can run through the rest of the card as well. Ishmael Bonfim versus Vince from Hell Pichel. Great nickname. Um, any hot takes on this, or is it just Ishmael Bonfim probably by knockout round one?
Well, I mean, I don't like this fight at all. How's this fight look if it stays standing? Obviously, we should all be predicting Bonfim the takedown, Pichel, do whatever he wants with him. But, Pichel from hell, he's a vet, and he really screwed me over in that Mark Madsen fight. I thought he had that. I thought he was gonna. I did bet good money on him to beat Mark Madsen. And if you're gonna lose to someone one-dimensional like that, this is why the line's so wide. I'm gonna go with Bonfim round one sub. I'm just not super confident. I wouldn't be shocked if, Pichel keeps it standing and then we see a really sweaty fight because I don't know how this fight's going to look if it stays on the feet.
Okay.
But I'll go on theme to get the sub. Just not super confident. Would never touch this fight. And I'm not going to hate on anyone who's throwing a dog shot on Pichel here.
Yeah, I mean, Jared, what are your thoughts here?
I mean, at 41 years old, Cub Swanson's got his hands full here with Bonfim. Um, Bonfim, Alex, I don't know if you're confusing him with his brother a little bit. This Bonfim brother, he's a striker. He is
Yeah.
fast. He is fucking sharp. He's got power, both hands. When this dude loads up, he can end the fight with one shot.
He's the lesser
And
of the two, though, right, Jared? He's not as good as Gabriel.
I don't know. People argue that. I don't know. I think they're both pretty good. I'm not going to discredit this dude over one loss to a tough guy. I think that's where he gets a lot of the hate. But he's a fucking good striker, man. And as his career's progressed, he's developed a really good ground game just to make himself a more well-rounded fighter. Unfortunately for Pichel, I think Bonfim can do whatever he wants in this fight. Pichel, he doesn't really excel in any area, but he's not particularly bad at anything. I just the fucking deck stacked against him in this fight. Bonfim by whatever he wants. I'm going to say, maybe Pichel can tough out the first round, but Bonfim ends up finding a knockout in the second round.
So are you saying that Pichel could out wrestle him and that's his way to victory?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I
Just
don't.
last.
Yeah, I think his best case scenario is he can make it 3 rounds. I don't see anywhere where he's better than Bonfim.
There's no fucking chance that Pichel wins a decision either. He could dominate this dude for a
No,
while.
it'd be a moral victory to go the distance.
Yeah. I thought I had already marked KO round one for you, Jared, but I did switch that to two. Because yeah, Bonfim, this Ishmael Bonfim guy, his most recent loss is to fucking Benoit Saint Denis, who a lot of people thought was going to beat Dustin Poirier. Not me, not me. You know what I mean? Dustin Poirier is my dude. Actually, you can't even see it up there. Oh wait, where is it? There's a custom Ninja Turtle that I made because you know how I like my Ninja Turtles. That one in the box right there. It's a Dustin Poirier fucking Ninja Turtle that I made. I'll show you guys later. Fucking badass. I was real high and drunk one night and I painted this thing and it's got all his tattoos. You were talking shit about that Parker Noel tattoo. And I was laughing kind of under my breath because I'm like painting this shit. But yeah, dude, pretty badass. I'll show you guys later on.
Looks like
Um,
Ryan's not saving any pussy for me and Alex.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's all over here, man. It's all over here. That's the thing. When you start painting Ninja Turtles, making your own custom Ninja Turtles, it's the thing. I was
Oh
torn
yeah.
between doing Dustin Poirier and Poatan because like Poatan's iconic already. You know what I mean? I'll probably do Poatan later. I'm gonna do like a little stone for a hand in one of them and stuff. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I've got Ishmael by knockout round one. These two were supposed to fight initially, and Ishmael missed weight, and Vince Pichel, who fights once every 2 years, did not want to take that fight. But he's going to get a free trip to Brazil.
Can't
Ishmael
blame
better
him.
make weight. What's that?
You can't blame him for not wanting to take that fight.
Sure, but the UFC kind of tends to fuck people over when they do that. I mean, look at Stephen Thompson too. Did the same thing with Michel Pereira, who's fighting on the main card. I don't know. I think it's a tough spot for Vince. I think that he probably retires after this. He should. But if he goes out there and wins, man, I would say that Ishmael is 100,000% a busted prospect, and you can't count on this guy ever. But yeah, Bond theme. He's hot early and he fades quickly. So yeah, give me knockout round one, or I mean, if he doesn't knock Vince out round one, I'm gonna be sweating because I'm gonna probably have a little bit of money on the round one knockout for Bond theme. But yeah, these guys both started out as boxers, and then they started learning the grappling. Him and Gabriel, his brother. So, uh, Jared, hate to do this to you, man, but you are taking the third fight of the night, which is between. Wait for it. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Diane Barbosa versus Ernesta uh Karakakti. It sounds like Bukaki almost, but yeah, Karakakti. You can take this one first, brother. What do you got?
And you gave me a good one to work with
I know
here.
it's such a fucking banger, dude.
It's pretty easy to break down. We got a striker versus a grappler. Obviously, Barbosa being the grappler. The girl she fought on Contender Series was pretty fucking bad. Granted, Barbosa went in there on a week's notice and found a submission. So, got to give a little credit where it's due.
For Barbosa.
She, yeah, but she's a girl. She believes in her jujitsu and she'll pull guard, and she believes she can get a sub from any position.
How do
Her
you rank
nest on
these
you get
two nicknames, by the way? The Witch for Barbosa and Heavy Handed for the chick. I think the Witch is a fucking badass nickname for a chick.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I think heavy handed kind of corny too, because this girl's not really heavy handed. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
does she
know.
have any
Kind of weird.
knockouts? Okay. I just
If
was
she
curious
does,
what you thought.
fucking yeah. Well, either way, dude. I
Next
mean,
two.
Ernesta, she is a tough girl. She's willing to stand and bang, and she wants this fight on the feet. And I like what I see. I mean, she's not the best. She definitely has a lot to polish up, but on the feet, she's not bad. I like a girl that's willing to go to war. Uh, at range in the pocket, she's good anywhere but the mat. The floor is lava for her in this fight. Uh, I'm gonna take her here just because I don't take people that pull guard. So maybe a little bias there against the jujitsu nerds, but I'm gonna say Ernesta gets it done by decision.
Okay. I don't hate it. Um, got some good dog money on that as well. Alex, do you have an opinion on this that's interesting?
I kind of like Barbosa. I liked her to get the sub. I do share that opinion with Jared where we shouldn't be betting guys that pull guard, the classic Paul Craigs and everything. But
Whoa, this is not a guy, Alex.
I know, but
Don't misgender her.
as a favorite, it's a really big fade. You know what I
Yeah, yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I'd say 9 out of 10 times, this is how he stays standing. The dog's gonna win here. I just have that, gut feeling that the Brazilian's gonna get the sub here. Tailor-made matchup. Ernesta's really green on the ground, not a lot of background, and I think the jitters are gonna be there for a lot of these lower league, non-Brazilians coming out in, Rio. A lot of these sides are, there's a Brazilian on almost every single fight. You know who they're going to be rooting for. You know what I mean? We know who all the crowd favorites are. And I'm going to go with a crowd favorite here. I'm going to go Barbosa, round one sub.
Yeah, Ernesta's coming over from Lithuania. Did sub round one. That's a long flight, man. I don't know exactly how. I mean, they're flying a lot of Europeans out, and whether it's Western or Eastern European, we're going to talk about a Welshman later, and that's a tough flight to make. I've flown, and when you're a peak athlete, it seems like that has something to do with it. These guys that go out there and fight for their title fights, they tend to go out there like a month or 3 weeks before actual fight night, right? I guarantee you someone like Ernesto's probably flying out there like Tuesday, probably today, just before media day and all that shit. So I don't know, man. I think it's a tough spot for Ernesta. Um, and yeah, these Brazilian crowds are brutal. They're gonna be chanting, you're gonna die like they always do, right? Like they're fucking nasty. Um, I tend to lean the same thing as you, man, but I'm not opposed to a knockout for Barbosa either. Just having her in a dominant position like a crucifix or something just wild and just fucking her up on the ground. I'm gonna agree with you though, and I'm gonna go sub round one when they're dry. And I think that we see a Barbosa sub round one for sure. So yeah, I mean we'll see. Jared, you're gonna either look like an asshole or a genius in this one. Because, I bet hey, that's what it is every time. You know what I mean? Um, let's move on up the card here, though. Not this is probably the least exciting fight. Neither one of these girls, I don't think, ever sniffs a title. I don't know. Probably the least exciting fight. I am excited for this fight though because I like to fade Jamie Malarkey. We got a new dude coming off Dana White's Contender Series. I've heard this pronounced two different ways from two different people that I respect a lot. Mauricio Hufi and Mauricio Rufi. I'm gonna go Rufi just to be there with Jared because I've heard it both different ways. Usually, anytime the R is before the the fucking rest of the word, it's an H sound. But yeah, we'll go Hoofy. We'll go Roofy. I mean, I can't even
Well, it
fucking keep it
matches
straight.
his name because he usually puts people to sleep. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and you mix that with Jamie Malarkey's chin, right, Alex? Jamie Malarkey is probably realistically, let's be real here. He's probably lost his last four fights. I think that he probably lost that Prado fight. I think that he
No, he
absolutely lost.
dominated in that. He dominated Prado. That was rough to watch.
Okay, I might be misremembering. Michael Johnson was the one that I was thinking of. I think that he lost the Michael Johnson fight. And he did win it by split. He absolutely lost the Mac Desi fight, but I'm okay with that one because I had him in a parlay. I had Mac Desi in a parlay because I like to fade Jamie Malarkey. Anybody with no eyebrows, dude, I can't get behind you. But in all honesty, man, Malarkey seemed like a good striker when he first got into the UFC. Kickboxing, wrestler type dude. I think does he train out of City Kickboxing? No, he does not. But nonetheless, high level kind of a jack of all trades, master of none type dude. But Mauricio is brutal. And if Malarkey doesn't come out there and act like, Jamie Malarkmedov, and just straight up wrestle this dude nonstop. I want to see if you have money on Jamie Malarkey, you're wanting him to shoot a takedown within 10 seconds of the fucking first bell. But I think Rufy catches him probably in round one. I think he puts Malarkey away. And I think that the ref's going to be quick to call it. It might be, one of these things where Rufy drops Malarkey and then, just instantly the ref jumps in and is like, no, that's it. But, Malarkey's going to jump up and complain and all this shit. But yeah, give me Mauricio, Rufy, Hoofy, whatever the fuck you want to call him. We'll call him one shot because that's what he does. And yeah, I think he gets the knockout round one. Jared, what do you got here, man?
Yeah, I'm with Hyan on this one, taking Roofy. Um, Against Malarkey, I mean, Malarkey's a dude that I feel like he has the tools. I mean, at least on the feet, the dude's a pretty decent boxer once he finds his jab. He's got a strong clinch game when he needs it. And, he's showing a lot of toughness, but that chin is just it's a little too questionable. And I've seen the guy get overwhelmed before by a guy that's going to put a lot of pressure on him. I mean, you look at Roofy, of course, every win on this dude's record is by knockout. And, he's a little wild, a little bit of a showboat, which I don't love, but the dude's aggressive. He's going to get after it right away. I mean, his hands are fast. He throws them hard, but it's more than just hands. This dude can sneak in some good kicks. I think he's got some underrated grappling. Um, Sucks for Malarkey, but I feel like this is going to be one-way traffic for old Roofy. And, we got a guy with 10 UFC fights against a guy making his debut. It's not often I side with the debuter, but I can't get behind the chin of Malarkey. So I'm going to say Roofy pushes the pace he needs to and can get Malarkey out of there early. So I'm going to say round one knockout.
Fucking copycat. Hey, you
Nah,
know
might as
what,
well
dude?
be.
honestly, Jamie Malarkey, man, getting knocked out by Nasrat Haqparast. And I mean, he's not a dude that knocks people out, and that was 4 months ago, mind you. So, somebody with pillow fists like Nasrat knocking Jamie Malarkey out just 4 months ago, and then he's going in facing a killer in Brazil, in his fucking country. Not a good look, man. But Alex, do you have a hot take here?
Yeah, I'm with you guys on Roofy here to get put the guy to sleep, but I wouldn't get too greedy on the prop. We could see Malarkey just get beat up, out jab for 3 rounds. I'm not going to be shocked. I wouldn't really get too greedy on this one, but Ruffy's definitely going to be a bet this week. I love him. I'm worried about the weigh-ins. I'm waiting for the weigh-ins because he's coming down from 170. He's going to be way bigger than Malarkey, and Malarkey's usually, a big lightweight himself. So I think he's going to be way bigger. I don't think Malarkey's going to be able to get the takedowns. And we all know how it's going to look if it stays on the feet. Like Jared said, it's one-way traffic. Ruffy, I think the line should be wider. And it's not often you see us taking spots like this because, contender series guy coming in as a favorite in his first fight. Typically this is an auto fade spot, but when you look a little bit deeper into it, it's one of those few occasions where we're on that side. So I'm gonna go decision here. I'm gonna say
Wow.
Malarkey survives but gets beat up.
That's a ballsy call. Um, since he got knocked out by Nasrat, you know what I mean? You really think that this goes the distance? Is it just because the
Underrate
skill level guy?
Nazrat. Nazrat's fought a lot of killers, a lot of guys with good chins. Look at his resume.
Okay.
Malarkey was very. That's why he was minus 300 against Malarkey. Because Malarkey was one of the lowest league guys he's fought. Give Nazrat some credit. He'd knock out a lot of people in the division. He's just, near the top 15.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe a round two or round three knockout for Ruffy might be worth a look too, because you obviously get better lines, right? I just think that this happens quick, and I really don't think too highly of Malarkey, man. And who came up with the last name? You know what I mean? I know that Australia is a prison colony. That's a rough last name to have, dude. Malarkey, right? I
A
mean,
load of malarkey.
that's a rough name. It's like somebody in the fucking 30s was like, I hate this family. Name him Malarkey. I don't know. It's rough. But let's move on to the next fight of the night. And who just went that last one? That was me, right? So yeah. We'll go back to you, Jared, and we will talk about a fight that I'm actually really excited for. This is a good prelim fight, man. Joaquim Silva, Neto BJJ, the guy with BJJ in his nickname that never fucking uses it, versus Drakkar Close. Big fan of Drakkar Close, but I'm not giving away my pick here. Uh, Jared, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm also a fan of Jakar, man. He's a guy that wants it on the feet. He's got fast hands. He's got good low kicks that tend to add up against a lot of guys, and he's got some power in him too. The takedown defense is okay, but more importantly, he does have a good get up game. I just like him on the feet. I like how he mixes up his attacks. He shows a lot of different looks, and he's a hard guy to find. He's good at getting out of the way of big shots. And I think since that Benil fight, where he had Benil Dariush nearly dead, and he got overexcited, ran in too quick, and got caught. Since that fight, I've seen a different kind of composure with him. He has a good patience to him now, where he's not chasing that finish. He won't get overexcited. That's something that just comes with time. Silva on the other side, a dude that has serious power and good BJJ that he never seems to use, but when he does use it, it is good. Um, if he's not going to look to get this fight to the ground, he should make this fight into a brawl. Just try to have those crashes, try to have those blitzes, because that's really the only way you're going to get the close. That's the only way you're going to get close to close.
He's,
Um,
yeah, and he's the bigger power puncher, right, Jared? I mean,
I,
he's got some
I
fucking
would
power.
think so,
Yeah.
but I see Silva getting. I think people give him a lot of credit for that Armin Sarukian fight, but I watched it back yesterday to see if I remembered it correctly because my memory of it was he was a huge underdog and he did a lot better than he was expected to.
Didn't he rock
Um,
Armin?
so that's where he's getting a lot of credit. He got in a wild exchange. He landed a left hook that his eyes were shut when he threw,
Okay.
and he did crack Armin. But other than that one exchange, he got completely dominated in that fight. So I'm not going to rank that loss too high.
Okay.
The dude's tough, and he knows how to last. Just I think Drakkar might be a step ahead. I could see this fight playing out very close. It's really good matchmaking. So I'm going to take close to win a close decision.
Hey, okay. Are we talking split here?
Um,
I'm
let's
just
just
writing
say,
decision, but
yeah, let's just say a decision. It could be a split. I could see it going down like that, but
yeah, we don't get too crazy with the decisions. As long as you get a decision, you hit it. Alex, opinion on this, man?
No surprise, I'm with you guys on close. I think this is one of the easiest fights on the card on paper wise to pick. You know what I mean? And you kind of look at it like if Close has had more luck in the UFC, you could say he should be a minus like 300, 350 favorite in this. He can win this in multiple ways. He can win this on the feet. He can win this on in the ground game. Depends on what kind of strategy he has. But, I am worried about the Max Holloway effect, you know, on this fight.
Explain this.
Like last week's fight, we had that one fight that ended in like a complete banger. Jonathan Pierce,
Oh yeah. Hey,
you know,
one of my
all
dogs,
the way
dude.
back where the UFC 300 is affecting the strategy of fighters on these future cards. And this is the one fight I had pegged. I said, this looks like it could end in a brawl very fast. And no offense, I just don't think Drakar's closest chin is going to be there if Silva lands once. I
Yeah,
really don't. And
you're right.
just for some reason, if 9 times out of 10, if I know this fight's going to be a brawl, I'm going to take the plus 430 on Silva by knockout. And that's really like a prop that I'm thinking about taking a shot on because that's the only one I see it. But for some reason, like everything wants me to bet on Drakkar Klose. 9 times out of 10, you should be betting him in this spot. It's just for some reason, I really see this fight going to a crazy brawl. And I would rather have, huge dog money than plus 150 on Drakkar to get the KO. And with that said, I'm gonna go Drakkar decision as well, but don't don't go too crazy on this fight because I think Silva could knock him out, and I think it could happen.
Yeah, I have not given my pick yet on this. Obviously I did hint at you, Alex, that I was going to take Drakkar. Did you take him by decision as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now, my thing, I don't know if you guys remember Drakkar Close got like permanently injured by a shove from Jeremy Stevens. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That's kind of like, you know, Drakkar
that
Close is
was
getting in
weird.
there. Yeah, he's getting in there. He's fighting. He's much tougher than I am. But
He
dude,
comes out and
first
wins the next fights, which is crazy.
I know, but so I don't know if he's faking it or what. There was two negatives for him, man. He was wearing a mask at the fucking weigh-ins. Pussy. Okay. Oh, you don't have to wear a mask. Fucking Jeremy Stevens wasn't wearing a mask. You're wearing a mask, you don't have to. You're soft. Okay, that's my big problem. Second problem is that he says that his neck's never been the same since he got pushed by Jeremy Stevens. I just think really highly of Close, man. Fighting out of Michigan, right? He's a bad dude. I don't know if he's still fighting out of Michigan, but he's born there. Joaquim, big power. I don't think his technique's too solid. I think that the technique goes to Close. So yeah, give me Close, but I think that Close might actually get a finish here. I think that he might be able to knock out uh our buddy Silva. So yeah, give me a round two Close knockout. KO round two for Close. I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see. Um, but yeah, man, fun stuff. Great matchup. One of the ones that I'm more excited for. This one, ooh, next fight's probably going to be a snoozer. Alex, this is yours to take. We've got a fucking firecracker in Gene Silva, the Lord Assassin, versus, this guy, William Gomi, needs to change his nickname to something not as badass as a Jaguar because this guy is fucking Savat style to the max. This dude, he lands, I think, less than 3 strikes per minute. He absorbs one. If I'm not, if my memory is serving me correctly, the guy's very defensively sound. He's almost like a Floyd Mayweather. And don't at me here. I'm saying he's that style where he's very defensively focused, more so than offense and very boring. You'll see this TKO knockout. Go back and watch that fight against Giannis Gamori. Okay. That TKO knockout was an accidental nut shot that Gamori called. and the ref didn't see it, and just I mean, they wanted Gomi to win, so they're like
I bet
TKO.
on I bet on Gomez in that fight, so I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think I even had any action on that because I was like, yeah, it's two fucking Frenchmen that are just gonna stare at each other for 15 minutes. This is a coin toss. And yeah, go me. I heard someone say with this picture right here of go me, it looks like he set a whoopee cushion like on your chair and he's just waiting for you to sit on it, right? Isn't that kind of what he looks like? He's like, hey, you're about to get something. Nothing too harmful though, because he's never trying to hurt anybody. But yeah, Gomi, boring. Gene Silva fights like he's possessed. Alex, what do you think about this one, man?
I got a hot take on this one. I'm on the Gomez side. I think he weathers an early storm, comes back, shows a better level on the feet. But I think early on, Silva's going to be on him like a dog. And I think he's going to, have him up against the fence, and Gomez is going to be shocked by that early pressure, early strength. And then after a little while, he's going to get some distance and he's going to start teeing off. And, I trust Gomez in the wrestling as well. I trust he can keep it standing. I think we're going to see this fight standing. And I believe that Gomez is going to at least outpoint him, maybe even get a late KO. So I'm going to go with the Gomez side by unanimous decision. And when
Okay,
you know what I mean, we just had a streak of Brazilians winning. Now we got a little. Now here comes a streak of a couple Brazilians losing in a row.
sure. Um, I'll tell you real quick, and then Jared, I'll let you go because I'm gonna be fast. I think that Gomi is gonna win this fight over 15 minutes, but the judges and the crowd are gonna be so against him that there's no choice but for Gene Silva to win here. So I'm taking Gene Silva by decision. I think he's gonna be more aggressive. I think he's going to probably be more offensive. And I think that he gets this done by decision, probably unanimous, because I think the judges are going to be on the side of the crowd. We talked about this with the Mexico card, right? There were some shady fucking decisions that went on there in Mexico. Brazil is very similar as far as the judging being influenced by the crowd. So yeah, give me Gene Silva. You say it's a hot take, Alex, that you're taking Gomes. He is the underdog, but everyone that I've heard talking about this fight is on the Gomes side. And why hasn't that line flipped yet? So yeah, give me Silva, man. I think the books know something. Give me Silva all day. I'm going to take this. I'm fairly confident in this as well. Jared, what do you got?
I don't think I know anyone that hates Frenchmen more than you.
Hey, I don't hate anybody, dude. I
You
love
hate
everyone.
Frenchmen and you hate Canadians.
Well, yeah, they're the same. French Canadians are the same. They're
But yeah,
just.
dude,
Let me tell you something, man. I worked in the restaurant industry a lot. And these are kind of some assholes to serve. Like I worked in like fine dining restaurants. I've worked in every kind of different cuisine, every type of food that you can think of. I've worked in those restaurants. Fine dining restaurants here in Tucson, Arizona, and like retirement communities. I've served a lot of French people, and I have not met one kind French person. I will just say that. I don't think that there should
oh,
be a genocide. Okay. I'm just saying straight up. These people are fucking assholes, dude. Especially when
I'm
it
not
comes to
saying
food.
there should be a genocide, but I'm also not saying I'm against a genocide.
No, I'm 100% against the genocide, man. I don't think any fucking group of people should be fucking persecuted like that. But yeah, French people are assholes, man. Go
Well,
ahead.
all right. Gene Silva, this dude has gotten what a great deal this guy got. His debut, he got a total fucking can that he could just do whatever he wanted to do to this guy. Like, what a fucking good deal. And then after that, you get a fight in your home country, like against a Frenchman. That's a fucking pretty sweet hookup for him. Uh, it's hard to range how good he is just because the guys he's fought haven't been great. Uh, I can say he definitely has power, and he needs to be aggressive in this fight, and he needs to constantly be closing the distance because Gomez is a point fighter. He has good evasive movement. He knows how to get out of the way of shots. He knows how to land a couple points, move, land a couple points, move. It's a pay per view event. They have that bigger octagon. That's going to help the movement of Gomez a bit. But I just think Silva has the power to knock him out. If he stays on the feet with Gomez, that does run the risk of him just getting picked apart. All it takes is one shot to put him out, but Gomez is a hard guy to find. And being 5 inches shorter than him, it's not helping your case. Gene Silva, fucking dude, just wrestle. That's all he needs to do. Just wrestle. You can get this guy out of here. So, might not be the best pick. but I don't give a Frenchman's fuck. I'm taking Gene Silva, finding a knockout here. I'm going to say he gets it to the ground and ends up finding a finish. I'll call it round 2.
Okay. Silva KO round 2.
That's it. And look at that. He got a lock tattooed on his chest just in case you don't think he's a lock.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
I don't think he's a lock, but
Yeah, he's not a lock. This is one of the shadier favorites on the card, and I don't hate Alex's pick for taking Go Me, but like I said, I've heard of every fucking one and their mother taking Go Me, and why hasn't this line flipped yet? Am I crazy? Has the line flipped and I'm just missing it? Have you
not that I
guys?
know of, but I'm glad to hear people are on Gomi or
It seems
Gomez
like
or
everyone
whatever.
is, man. Because I listen to a lot of MMA shows just because when everyone's on, a fight that's back and forth, that's why I took Dustin Poirier. Obviously I talk about it all the time. He's my favorite fighter, but everyone and their mother was on Benoit Saint Denis. And I was like, no, man. Like at that point, it's too much of an easy pick. So you gotta go with that other side. And anytime Dustin Poirier is a dog, dude, I'm gonna jump on him. But yeah, just weird. I don't see this I don't see this line flipping despite all the confidence in Gomi. And he's very boring. He's gonna get a lot of boos in Rio. And that's just where I'm coming from there. But this is a fun fight. This is me to start with. I'm actually marking this. I finally, after however many episodes we've done, and halfway through this one, I'm marking who starts now. So Alves Brenner versus Motabek Orobai. Um, Interesting dude. I mean, there's all these talks about this guy has fucking been fighting since third century BC and all this stuff. I don't know about all that, but I know he's pretty good. And I also know that every time Elvis Brenner fights, he's an underdog. And he's an underdog here again. So it's interesting, man. Interesting is the key word. I don't know what it means. He's fighting in his home country. Motabek Orobai beats fucking Euros Medic, the doctor. Dude, I was very confident on Euros last week. I think very highly of the dude. My thing is that Oros was talking about we're training for a Muay Thai fighter. We are not training any grappling this fight. And then, of course, a wrestler comes in and just ragdolls the doctor. You know what I mean? I'm fucking worried about this one because Elves Brenner is another very popular dog here, fighting a fucking like dominant wrestler. But Brenner is a very good jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's a great Muay Thai fighter. He fights essentially like Charles Oliveira. Everybody out of that Diego Lima camp fights the same, right? You know what you're getting with them. I am so not confident in this pick at all, but I'm going to go Elvis Brenner, and I don't like it. I do not like it at all. I think that Elvis Brenner probably gets a decision win. He might get a submission later, but I don't like this at all. It's one that I might not have any serious action on it, but since you're giving me someone like Alves Brenner at these odds, I gotta take it, man. I can't pass it up. Motorbek is not promised yet. Very good fighter. He's done a lot on the regional scenes, and I think he fought in like LFA and shit like that. I'm not, yeah, LFA a couple times. Just not sold on him yet, man. I did pick him against Euros, even though I like Euros. But yeah, give me Brenner, and for the sake of being fun, and for some fucking money, we'll take Elves Brenner. Combo it up if you have FanDuel. Elves Brenner submission round 2, round 3. But give me Elves Brenner round 3 submission. Um, Jared, what do you got here, man?
I think Brenner is tough as shit. Dude's got a lot of heart. And, no matter how bad the fight gets, he is a guy that's always live for the comeback. He has a good submission game, but it's going to be hard to snatch up a submission against an inbred wrestling machine like this dude. And I don't want to get it twisted because this dude can fucking chain wrestle like, you know, like a Dagestani, but he's got power in his hands. Like this dude, I don't think he will mind hanging out on the feet for too long with a guy like Brenner. He played it smart with Medic, or maybe half smart, where he's willing to eat as many shots as he was going to get hit with to get that takedown. And when he got the takedown, it was, he does little things on the ground that, it just shows the level he's on. He's very position over submission, where on Brenner, I think he's just going to try to snatch up anything he can. Positionally, Orobai, dude's so good. I mean, they as soon as they hit the mat, he's getting wrist control or he's wrapping up the legs, one or the other. As soon as it hits the mat, he's trying to make it so you're not getting back up. Maybe he's not raining down with the most damage on the ground, but if if he's on top of you and you can't get up, he's winning. Uh, I like him a lot in this spot. I am actually fairly confident in this. Brenner somehow 3-0 in the UFC. First fight was a total robbery in his debut. Good comeback against Garam, a guy that I think a lot of people thought was a lot better than he actually is. But I won't deny it. He is a fairly, he's a good fighter. He's above entry level UFC, and he's fucking tough. But I think it's going to take more than that against some fucking inbred dude that's going to be on your ass like him. So I'm pretty confident in this pick. I'm going to take Orolbai, and I'll say he gets a finish here. Maybe it'll take a little bit, but I'm going to say he finds a knockout on the ground, probably round two ish.
All right, Jared taking Oral Boy, knockout round 2. You said, right?
Yep.
Okay. Alex,
And I want to call him like Beck.
huh? Beck?
Kind of Rebecca style, anyways.
Yeah,
Um,
he's an interesting dude, man. He's got a great style. He's very talented.
I kind of wanted to take a shot on the under here in this fight. It was almost like plus 100. So the odds makers really are adamant on seeing this fight go a while. I like Orobai as well. I thought he's just the bigger guy. And I'm not going crazy on this fight either because, Elvis Brenner is known for destroying parlays. And after all he's done in the UFC, all those comebacks, I would say this feels like a walking out party for him. And, something in my gut is telling me Brenner's going to win as well. But after all the tape, Oralby has multiple ways to win. He's going to be the bigger guy. And, I think those takedowns are going to come. And I think the fan base is going to be very upset after this one. But, they get a palate cleanser in the next fight. So I'll go Oralby round 1 sub. Make it
Okay.
fun. No, that's going to be an underrated one as well. It's Oralby to get the sub on the Brazilian.
Yeah, I mean he's a submission fighter, but I like I said, I think that these guys are more Muay Thai fighters. They're just dangerous everywhere. The Diego Lima, shoot the box camp. They're very. I mean, I was getting in an argument with some dickhead on Instagram a while back where I was like, jujitsu fighters are boring. And this guy says, have you ever seen Charles Oliveira? And I said, dude, that guy is not exclusively BJJ. Like, yes, he has the most submission wins in the UFC, but if you watch him, he knocks dudes out. He's dangerous everywhere. He's not just a jujitsu fighter. And this dude can get dropped. He can stand back up, knock out fucking Michael Chandler, which is that's a good look. Something that Dustin Poirier couldn't do. He had to submit him. It's funny how people just think of these BJJ fighters and don't realize that some of them, especially this Diego Lima camp, they're very fucking well rounded, man. They're dangerous on all accounts. But Jared, you're taking this palate cleanser, as Alex called it. This is Carolina Kowalkiewicz versus Yasmin Lucindo. What a great fight, man. What a good fight. And yeah, it's gonna be an exciting one, man. A 45-year-old woman or whatever the fuck she is, 38, versus a 22-year-old boy. What do you think about this, man?
I mean, it is really wild. She is 16 years older than Lucinda. That is fucking crazy. Uh, Carolina, or she's a girl that I've always liked. She's high volume and she's got fast hands. Nowhere near as much power as Lucindo, but I mean, I've just always liked this girl. I've always been a fan, even when she was getting trashed by the best girls in the division. But she's looked really good lately, and that's because the level of competition has taken a big drop off in her, in her recent success. The girls that she's looking really good against, the girls that aren't that good, and the girls she's losing to, they're very good fighters. Um, Lucindo, I mean, she should have her Nessus nickname of heavy hands because this girl has heavy hands and she is not afraid of a brawl. She's got the grappling. She has strong takedowns. She's really just all around a well-rounded fighter. If if Kolakewicz doesn't earn her respect on the feet, this girl will fucking put it on her. you got to give her something to work like that's gonna keep her off because this girl will get wild. She swings to take your head off, and she's only 22 years old with that aggressive style and how sharp she's looked. I mean, the sky's really the limit for her. Um, when I look at her, it actually kind of reminds me of a young Jessica Andrade. And Carolina, she's looked really good, but this is a step up from her recent opponents. And I will say there's only one girl that's ever knocked her out, and that is the Brazilian Dyke. Here we are again,
Oh,
Brazilian Dyke.
what year
So
is it? Jesus.
I'm taking Lucindo KO round one. Ryan, don't get soft on me here.
God, I'm gonna file a complaint with HR. Okay, you got a Carol by what method? You just threw me off.
No, I got Lucindo KO round one.
Oh, okay. Lucinda KO round one. Alex, I can see the look in your face. You're gonna take Yasmin. What method are you taking? And tell me your thoughts about this fight.
I'm gonna take decision. I think it's gonna be, not really that close. I think it's gonna be a unanimous decision. I think Yasmin can mix it up. I think she can hang on the feet with Carolina. And, I'm gonna go with the young gal here. And am I happy about the odds? No, because they're really juiced. But, safe pick, Yasmin decision. Wouldn't be shocked if Jared gets the KO there.
Yeah, I like it. Yasmin by decision. I have Yasmin as well, and I don't like it because every time I look at Yasmin, she looks like a girl that goes out and lays an egg.
And
Like,
another thing is that she's only faced like two Brazilians in her career. Being in the UFC, that's kind of low too. Wouldn't you think you should be? Maybe she's like scared of them. She's 0-2. She's probably going to be about to be 0-3
who
against
are you
Brazil.
talking about? Carolina?
Yeah.
Carolina? Yeah. Sorry, you're cutting out. I just couldn't hear you.
Yeah, Carolina's 0-2 against other Brazilians.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a
Pretty,
fun stat. Man, you look at this fucking Carolina chick too. She's 9-7 in the UFC. One knockout win, one knockout loss, three submission wins, two submission losses, 12 decision wins. Sorry, I have the hiccups a little bit. That's wild, man. She's not a dangerous girl. I like to favor danger when it comes to females in more ways than one. That sounds really creepy when you say that. I like to favor danger with females. But yeah, Yasmin, even though she looks like one of these fucking just people that goes out there and just gets laid out and doesn't seem like she could really perform at a high level, she's more dangerous by a mile. She's got a lot more finishes, like ratio wise. 53% of her wins come by knockout, 20% come by submission, and then 27 are coming by decision. She's never been knocked out. She's not going to respect Carolina on the feet. I think she goes in there, man, and I could actually see a knockout coming, dude. So give me a knockout. I think she's going to be raised up by the fans a little bit here. Give me a knockout round three. It's going to be a war of attrition here. The older ladies out there, 38 is not old for, just day-to-day life, right? But it's fucking ancient for, UFC fighting. It really is for women, especially. What are these girls fighting in bantamweight or flyweight?
115.
Strawweight.
Strawweight.
Okay, so yeah, just help me prove my point a little more there, Jared, because yeah, this is basically like it's essentially like a 38-year-old dude fighting in bantamweight in the UFC, right? It's very, very difficult for these 115-pound girls at 30 fucking 8 years old to compete with some of these 22-year-olds. So yeah, Lucinda all day. I think that she gets a finish here. I'm pretty confident in the knockout. Give it to me. Let's go. We'll move on up. Alex, this is your fight to take, and you got a good one here for once. It seems like this is your first fun fight to pick. Joe Anderson Brito versus Jack Shore. What a fun fight, man. This is a really, really good one, dude.
Yeah, we got Jack Shore in the chat box right now. He kind of looks just like Jared.
Well, no, dude. Jared is fucking Bill Algeo.
No, he really does look like more like Jack Shore, to be honest.
In
But
person.
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
if you there's like it was specifically when he was fighting Valiev, fucking I had a few people over. and there was some kid that fucking, it was like a friend of a friend, right? This kid's fucking some Spanish kid. He's all stoned sitting on my couch, and he looks at the TV. He looks back at me and he's like, "Yo, you look like that guy." And then fucking ever since then, but that
Hey, all
it's
these
not
white guys
accurate
look
at
the
all in
same. You
that
know what I
picture.
mean?
Not accurate at all in that picture though.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't look like you at all. I think Bill LGL looks a lot like you in his
Some
topology
grows
picture.
bangs though. But yeah, Shore and Brito, I'm one-sided on this one. I hate the odds, but I'm gonna end up taking it. I'm a big fan of Brito. I've been on his bandwagon for a while. I think he gets the dub here. I think he can do it in multiple ways. Most likely a decision. I'm passionate that both of these guys are durable. You know, the over 1.5, over 2.5 should be safe here. But I'm gonna go Brito just to be working more, have more output, have the better moments in the fight. I wish this fight was a lot closer, like Brito minus 120, maybe even odds, but you know, they're catching up to him and you know, the odds are spot on. He should win this fight, you know, 60% of the time. And Jack has been outpointed before. I think he can get hurt. You know, I think he only has one path to victory here, which is, you know, spam takedowns, keep it close on the feet, but mainly be grappling and be in the clinch. And for that reason, I think Brito's just going to take it based on volume, and he's going to have those Brazilian judges on his side.
Yeah. I will say right now, I disagree, man. I'm gonna go Jack Shore, and I think that he potentially gets a submission, which would be wild. But I think that Jack Shore gets this done. I'm gonna lean decision. I think it's just gonna be there's no question for Brito because yeah, you're right, Alex. If it's close, they're gonna give this to Joe Anderson Brito. But yeah, give me Jack Shore um by decision. It could even be a split. It's going to be a grimy fight, and I think it's going to be one of those fights where, at the end of the round, because Jack Shore is going to spam takedowns, like you said. You don't really think of Welshman as great wrestlers, but Jack Shore is a good wrestler. I'm concerned with the flight over from fucking the UK to Brazil. I hope he's gotten there a little earlier. Hopefully he's doing whatever they do. But his one loss is Ricky Simone. That's not a horrible loss. It's actually a decent loss. Ricky Simone not looking great lately, but I still think that he's got a future. It's a bad stylistic matchup for Jack Shore as well. But this is a striker versus a grappler. I know, Jared, you tend to favor the strikers in these. I still tend to favor a lot of wrestlers in these type of matchups, just because they can control where the fight goes. Joe Anderson Brito, his takedown defense is decent, from what I last checked. But the thing that everyone's talking about here is JSP. JSP was able to take him down and all this shit. We just saw this last weekend. JSP can take you down a million times, but what can he not do? He cannot fucking control you on the ground. Like, he's so fucking dog shit with controlling people on the ground. David Onama was able to like fucking front flip out of so many of these takedowns. So I think Jack Shore is gonna be more dominant on the ground. He's gonna hold Joe Anderson down much more, and it's just gonna be undeniable. It's gonna be boring. Uh, Anytime they're on the feet, I'm gonna be sweating. And I'm fairly confident in Jack Shore, man, especially as a dog here. So yeah, give me Joe Anderson Brito by probably a split decision, even though it should probably be a unanimous decision win for sure. Jared, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far to label either of these guys a straight striker or grappler because I mean, Brito, this dude, I mean, he throws everything with fight-ending intentions. Um, he is a very, very aggressive, explosive style, and he has good BJJ. I mean, if it's on the mat, the dude can get the finish from really any position. Um, I think, as we know, this dude is his most dangerous in the first round. After that first round, the activity takes a huge drop off. With a style like his, if this fight goes long, it's going to be hard night for him. Jack Shore, I think he's pretty well rounded. I mean, his 6 UFC wins are not against the best guys, but he's looked good up until he took that next step up against a guy like Ricky Simone. He lost that fight. I'm not going to discredit it for, because it's a tough night out. And, he bounced back really strong against a guy like Americani, who's also not great. But I think if Jack Shore can survive the early storm that's going to get put on him in this fight, I think he has good cardio, good accuracy, and the longer this fight goes on, I see him starting to take over it. So, I don't trust Brito's gas tank. He absolutely can get Shore out of there if he's going. If Brito wins this fight, I imagine it's over in the first round. But I'm going to say Shore can get him out of there late. I think Brito's activity is really going to drop off. Shore starts to take over, and I think he can find a knockout late. I'm going to call it round three.
Round 3 KO for sure.
Yeah.
It's a
I
wild
mean,
pick.
I think he's underrated, man. On at least on the feet. I mean, this dude. Not saying he's just going to smoke him on the feet, but whether he gets it, a takedown or however he does it, I think this dude has underrated power and underrated finishing ability.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's just I would not expect that. But I didn't expect the fucking Michelle Pereira submission round 1 against
Oh, I fucking
Lord
love him
Miho.
for that. I'll
Yeah, that's
always
your
love
best
him for
call.
that.
That's probably your best call ever. And I don't know if you can ever get a better call than that. Unless you were to call somebody like Cody Brundage knocking out Bo Nickel in round fucking 1 minute, some crazy shit. You're gonna have to find something wild to top that because that was a good pick. But yeah, man, sure. KO round 3. Interesting. Very interesting. We're both gonna be sweating, man, because one of us, I feel like one of us at come round 3, I think one of us is gonna be feeling very good. Heading into this last round, whether it be you, Alex, or myself, Jared. So we'll see. We will see. Fun stuff. I'm taking this next one, and then I'm gonna take a piss and also get a refill of my drink. We are heading into the main event or I'm sorry, the main card. Sorry. This is not the main event. Paul Craig versus Kyle Barallo. Imagine that be a main event of a fucking pay-per-view. It'd be rough. Um, Interesting fight though, man. As a lot of these matchups are, they've done a good job. Paul Craig, one of these guys that I learned early on. I started betting on Paul Craig a lot because he was one of the first guys that helped me cash a bet. I forget who he was fighting. When was this? It might have been Nikita Krylov. It seemed longer than that ago, though, longer than 2 years
It
ago.
was the
Because I've
same
been
card as what do you have on that too? Juliana Miller and Jamal Hill.
no, it wasn't that. It had to
Trying to
have
think of that
been.
parlay that got you hooked on UFC betting. I know Killer Miller was a part of that.
Yeah, Juliana Miller was, and yeah, I've learned my fucking lesson there. But I've also learned my lesson with Paul Craig, right? Paul Craig is very overrated. He's very dangerous on the ground. Um, I did bet the knockout with him over that fucking other Brazilian dude. Who was it? Andre Muniz. I bet that because these guys are both good jujitsu guys, but Andre Muniz is a jujitsu nerd through and through. He's gotten zero striking. At least Paul Craig, the Bear Jew, great nickname. We're talking about a Brad Pitt movie a little bit later. Talk about a good Brad Pitt movie. We got a good Brad Pitt movie with fucking Inglorious Bastards. The Bear Jew, dude. Coming out here and doing stuff. Just not someone that I'm very impressed with, and I haven't been for quite some time. But I'm also not impressed with Kyle Barajo, man. This dude is so fucking overrated too. I understand that he's 15-1. He's the co-main king of all these fucking UFC fights and stuff. But if you watch one of his fights, man, he's fucking boring. This dude is boring as shit. It's a jujitsu nerd through and through. Alex, you can laugh all you want. At least you're not doing the face rub because you face rub last week with Guskov, and how'd that turn out? But you can laugh all you want, dude. Um, Baralho is fucking boring, man. I hope for Baralho's sake that he gets a finish. I really do. And I think that he could do it here. I think that he could actually finish Paul Craig, whether it be some ground and pound, whether it be on the feet, I don't think he's going to submit him, but to spice this up a little bit just before I step away, and then you guys can kind of drag this one out since it's the first fight of the main card. Um, I'll take Kyle Baralho to get a knockout over Paul Craig in round 2. Um, I'm just gonna write Kyle because Baralho's a fucking nightmare to spell. Well, yeah, we'll go KO round 2, man. Alex, go ahead and do your breakdown, and then Jared right after that. I will be right back, guys.
I'm on Baralho, but I got a sneaky prop, plus 800 for Baralho to get a sub. Ooh, that's pretty juicy. I don't mind taking a snipe at that. But it's always scary going against Paul Craig, but at least you got a nice guy to go up against. But at minus 600, they're really taxing you on that, on fading Paul Craig nowadays. I remember getting it close to even odds. But another guard puller here, the Bear Jew, coolest nickname in the UFC. But yeah, I think Barajo's gonna run through him. Definitely gonna get greedy and say round one sub. What are you thinking, Jared?
I'm with you on round one. I actually don't hate that sub look, dude, because that's one that I feel like people just aren't gonna. That's not gonna be a
They're
thought
gonna
in
see it
anybody's
coming. They're
mind.
not gonna see it coming.
Just like most people didn't see the KO coming with Paul Gregg against Muniz. That's a real good point. I mean, I think this fight definitely ends early. I mean, this one's super cut and dry. We know Paul Gregg, he's good at one thing. He's a sub or bust kind of guy. I mean, if you look up sub or bust in the Urban Dictionary, there's going to be a picture of Paul Craig right next to it. I mean, Barallo, he's getting a layup of a fight here. Um, he's getting, getting a guy ranked one rank ahead of him, so it's not going to do anything for the division. But I think what they're trying to do is, people like Ryan over here getting the impression that Barallo is a boring fighter. I think there's a good opportunity to show he's not boring. I think they're kind of setting him up for success here. I don't see any. I just, of course, Craig's always live for the fluky sub, but I don't see Barallo falling into that. I'm gonna pick him to win by round one KO, but I do not hate that sub at all. I'm gonna have to really think about that. At plus 800, dude, that sounds like a no brainer.
If we get greedy and pick round one, it's probably even juicier.
Yeah, I know. Well, what's the line on just round one finish? Like for like fight to end in round one, it's probably dog shit, right? I'd imagine it's probably pretty shitty.
Under 1.5 is plus 160,
Under 1.5 is plus 160.
and Baralho round one is plus 250.
See, now this, you're telling me the under 1.5 is plus 160. That is like a feels good, too good to be true situation. How is that plus 160? It should be minus 160.
Well, that's why you basically getting juiced odds if you just cut out a Craig sub. You cut out Craig's finishes, you'll get Baralho inside the distance minus 175 though.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
That's kind of high.
I don't hate that as a parlay piece. I mean, or an Andrew-esque parlay where you're throwing a bunch of props on one slip. I don't hate that. I mean, I think he definitely finishes.
Oh, Baralho by sub at another book is only plus 200. What does that tell you?
So you're telling me him by sub on one book is plus 200 and him by sub on DraftKings is plus 800? Is that
That
what you're
seems a little
telling me?
shady.
Doesn't really make sense.
Seems shady. Okay, so what were your picks just for me so I can write these down? What did you
I
both
had
get?
Barallo KO round one. Alex had Barallo sub round one.
So both you guys
Yeah, I
subs and
must have
KOs
read
in
it
round one.
wrong
No,
earlier. Maybe I said Craig by sub by accident, but Craig by subs plus 900. I must have said Craig by sub by
oh
accident.
yeah, there you see. You got me all excited. You fucking
Yeah,
mook.
Baralho by sub plus 200. Why so low?
Why so serious? Right? Okay, so we got Kaio for you, Jared, knockout round one. I like that. I like the balls. And then you had Alex, you got the Kyle sub round one. Hey, I mean that's a solid call. I think this is easy work for Kyle, but dude, if he goes the fucking distance with Paul Craig, it's time to fucking short fucking Kyle. This fucking free spirit freak. Let's go. All right. Jared, you're up with this Michel Pereira versus Ihor Pateria. The Brazilians hate Ihor. They fucking hate him after they just fucking knocked out Mauricio Hua, right? So what do you got?
Well, I gotta start off by saying how much I fucking love Michel Pereira for cashing that round one sub where I was gonna. I mean, that was a crazy take and he fucking got it
It
done. And in
made you
hindsight,
look
not that
smart.
crazy.
It made you look very
And
smart.
that's not a common occurrence. So I'll take it as often as I can get it. So I
It is a
appreciate it.
rarity.
But yeah, Eeyore fucking. I mean, even with his that last win, I still don't think this guy's good. There's only one reason he's on the main card, and it's because of his dance partner. I don't see anything good about this guy. I'm not gonna rate a decision win against a guy making his debut too high. He's got big power, bad cardio, and a bad chin. I think he has what we call a puncher's chance in this fight, and that's about it. Michel Pereira, as we know, he got that unorthodox style. He's entertaining, and it's a style that good luck having someone that's going to replicate that in the gym because it's fucking. You never know what to expect from this guy. Though he keeps his hands low, guys have a hard time finding his chin. One thing I like about him is we've had times with him where he drops somebody and we're sitting there like, please don't do a fucking backflip, and he does a fucking backflip, and he does kind of
Rolling
stupid
Thunder.
shit. Yeah, it's a little out there, but he's really adjusted his approach to he's more composed, he's still entertaining, but he's not as stupid. And I like the way he closes distance. I don't think Eeyore is going to have an answer for anything in this fight. um, he possesses his most danger in the first round. Maybe he toughs it out of there, but I'm going to say Michel gets this done by knockout early round 2.
Okay. Alex, go ahead and go, man. I have mine. It's going to be a quick take, so you can do yours, man.
I like Pereira. I think he's going to play with his food in this one, being in Brazil. He's really going to milk it, and he's going to take a lot of risk, and I think it's going to be a sweat this one. Because Ihor is going to have opportunities if, Michelle is going to try to showboat in Brazil. I could see it happening. But I'm going to go late knockout. I think eventually it wears on Ihor, and Michelle kind of wakes up like, all right, I got to just end it right here. And then he ends it in round 3 after, like, giving the crowd an absolute show. And I think he's going to put out a lot of risk here, and he's not going to look like a minus 600 the whole time until until it adds on Ihor later in the fight. So go Michelle by his capoeira ways, knockout round 3.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you've ever watched a capoeira competition, what a fucking gay thing you've ever. I mean, that's just the gayest thing you've ever seen, right?
Did
These
I send
guys
you
are
that
just.
video of them fucking dancing around each other and the
I
commentators? Like a
love it.
lot
I
of
can't believe
people.
you guys.
Oh, the commentators like 1 minute of capoeira is like the equivalent to like 10 minutes of hard sparring. I'm like, what is this guy fucking smoking, dude?
Dude, I've never done capoeira. I have sparred a
It's
little
because you're
bit.
not gay.
Well, it's true, but I mean, like that. The thing is, dude, I've sparred very low level. It's fucking hard. It is really hard. It takes a lot. Like I'm really like on a journey to lose weight. You guys are gonna see me really shrink into myself over the next few months because I'm eating like unseasoned foods. I'm fucking running. So what I did today, I ran a mile and then I sparred for 12 minutes. I did 4 3-minute rounds. Okay. It's fucking hard. I wasn't sparring. When I say sparring, like I've sparred before, like actually fighting someone, but I'm just hitting a reflex bag, like the bags that move on the spring, right? I'm hitting that for 3 minutes, trying to work in combos and do shit. It's fucking exhausting, man. Especially after like warming up, running a mile, and then doing that. You're dead. You're like,
It's a
I had to
different
fucking.
kind of tired, man.
Yeah, and like when you're watching a clock, like if you're just doing it on your own pace, but I'm pretending I'm actually fighting someone, I'm trying to move, I'm keeping defense, I'm like trying to guard and like, hit body and all this shit, right? So it's very, very difficult to do this. So yeah, that fucking 1 minute of capoeira, I can bounce around on my feet and be like the wind for a fucking 2 hours. You know what I mean? That's bullshit. Whoever the fuck said that is wild. But let's get back to this. I have Pereira knockout round 1. I think this is fairly straightforward. Pateria, I bet him against Bellotto, I think it was, right? Yeah, but Bellotto, I felt robbed in that shit, man. Pateria had this dude knocked out 15 fucking times in round 1 because Bellotto sucks, okay? Bellotto is not a good fighter. He's only fought cans. He's very sloppy with his takedowns. He's not a good fighter. He's just very persistent. He's got a good gas tank, clearly because he was knocked out. He admitted that he got knocked out, but his training is so good and he's such a jiu-jitsu nerd that he can continue to push through even when he's unconscious. That's an interesting fucking like mindset for somebody to have. You can go back, you can watch that fight. Ihor had this dude knocked out. I said 15, 3 or 4 times this dude had him knocked out. I like Ihor, and I'm not a big fan of Ukraine, to be honest. But yeah, dude, I think that Ihor goes out here, he gets knocked the fuck out. It could be sub 1 minute. It could be underneath 1 minute. I think that Pereira, I don't think he plays with his food. I think he goes out here and he wants to make a statement. Um, who knows? Maybe at 185, he doesn't really have the greatest cardio. I don't know. I know he was killing himself to get down to 170. But yeah, dude, give me Pereira knockout early in round one. I'd be very surprised if this fight goes 3 minutes. If it goes into round two, I will be shocked, to be honest. So yeah, give me Pereira knockout round one. Alex, this is your next fight. We are getting deep into the main card here. Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino. Dangerous fight for Anthony Smith and such a quick turnaround, man. He just fucking knocked out Ryan Spann last weekend. He's going to fight in Brazil. It's a wild fucking thing that he's doing here, but let's keep this one short. We can talk about the co-main and the main much more than this one. Alex, what do you have here, man?
How can you trust Anthony Smith after all these losses, you know? When was his last win? You know, Ryan Spann by robbery decision.
That was a loss.
That was that was horrible. You know, he's technically on a 5-fight losing streak, and now they're giving him a prospect. You know, the odds speak for themselves. You know, it's hard to see Anthony Smith win outside of round one and early. You know, if you look at his career, he's typically been a round one or bust kind of fighter. So that's the way. That's how I would bet Anthony Smith. You know, by finish. But I'm gonna go Vitor gets. You know, how do I see him winning this fight? I'm gonna go with knockout. I'm gonna go. He gets a little bit of help from the ref. Ref has mercy on Smith. Round 2.
Okay. Yeah, I like that at all a lot actually. I'll go next. Yeah, Anthony Smith. In hindsight, guys, just both you guys that picked Ryan Spann last week. Look at, his last 2 wins were both against Ryan Spann. And you two sick fucks convinced me that Ryan Spann was the best pick last week over Guskov.
Yeah, neither of us put $400 on him.
Well, you guys both fucking convinced me. So good on you guys. You fucked me. You fucked me out of a cell phone payment.
Yeah, look for someone to blame. Keep it coming. It's all part of the process. You'll get to the acceptance stage soon, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it is that fucking addiction mentality or whatever, but no, I'm fucking joking, right? It was my choice to do it, but there was a little bit of influence there, right? Can we agree? Can we agree?
Yeah, you didn't have to listen, but you did. And you shouldn't have. We were very dumb.
Well, all right.
But hey, you know what? I will say in fairness, it was looking really fucking good in round one.
It was looking great, and I felt fucking phenomenal. I also felt very good when Austin Lane was beating up the fucking kickboxer in that first round too.
But you know what? That's where you go, okay, note taken. This guy cannot wrestle to save his fucking life, and right on the shit list he goes. Just like a Bellato. You know what I mean? He made the fade list.
Sure, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. Obviously, yeah, but hey, you guys should also, give me a little credit because I respect my co-host's opinion, and I probably shouldn't. Right? I'm in the future, I'm not going to respect your guys' opinion as much. So if you want to put the blame back on me, at least take that. Yeah, Ryan Spann is dog shit. Anthony Smith, that's the only guy that he's beaten in the last fucking 2 years. Twice. So, yeah, Vitor Petrino absolutely runs through Smith. I think he gets a knockout in round one. I think it's very fucking straightforward. Alex, what do you think here, man?
Alex already told you what he thinks, but I'll tell you.
Sorry,
that
was you. That was you. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, well, here's my wild take of the night. I'm taking Anthony Smith. He just won last week. I think he does it again this week. I mean, look, dude, we know what we're getting with Petrino. He's a powerful striker. Dude's willing to take one to land one on the feet. You know he's going to be sharper. You know he's going to be faster. You know he's going to have more power. But I got to say, even at 11 and 0, I've seen this dude get dropped and I've seen this dude get taken down and controlled.
Sure.
You know, uh, Anthony Smith, he's a vet. He's taken a shit ton of damage over the course of his career. He should, get Darren Elkins tattoo across his chest because he is the damage. At his best, he has looked pretty well rounded, but I think we can all know for a fact his best years are behind him. The only path to victory for him in this fight, it's on the ground. I don't think this fight is going to play out as one sided as the odds are showing. You're telling me Petrino's like what, minus 500? I'm honestly, if Anthony Smith gets this to the ground, it's worth taking a shot. Smith can get this to the ground because if he gets it to the ground, I really think he's going to find a submission here. I'm taking Anthony Smith by submission, round two. It's a wild take, not a popular one, but you know what? Petrino's not proven to me. I just not, Smith, at least the dude's had experience. He's had over 20 UFC fights. We've seen him look good in the past. I know that's a long time away from where we're at now, but I'm willing to take a shot here. So we'll go Anthony Smith, one last ride, and then go back to the analyst desk.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in you, Jared, that you didn't say that on paper Anthony Smith beats Vitor Petrino.
That would be absolutely how Anthony Smith breaks down this fight.
Yeah, on paper he beats him, right?
Everything's on paper with this guy. See, if Petrino didn't have arms and he didn't have legs, Anthony Smith wins this fight. That's about his breakdown for everything.
I saw this thing with it was relating to Alex Pereira, where Anthony Smith is delusional. I'm actually a fan of Anthony Smith. I listened to the Believe You Me podcast with Mike Bisping and him, right? And he seems like a cool dude. Like Anthony Smith seems like a fucking awesome guy to hang out with, right? Like just a cool, chill, laid back guy. He's made his money. He's got a future in analysis and all this stuff. Um, but I saw this thing where he in his head he has a rivalry with John Jones. Anthony Smith does. Okay, one of the most dominant fucking title fights you've ever seen. If you want to go back and watch John Jones versus Anthony Smith, it was not a rivalry. It was one sided. He also thinks that he's going to fight Alex Pereira at some point because Jamal Hill did, and they were scheduled to fight. All this shit. But, he's delusional. He's a very delusional guy. He's got CTE. He's still very coherent. But yeah, man, I just don't see this guy winning another fight in the UFC unless it's against Ryan Spann, because that is the only fucking fighter that he can beat in the fucking UFC, honestly. At that weight class. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. I think it's gonna be fun. If he ends up winning this, Jared, I will give you a lot of credit because I think that's a wild take. But
it sure is.
Yeah,
I'm willing to take a shot here.
Yeah, you're not gonna look fucking dumb until it's over with. You know what I mean? Like, and at that point, Alex and I are just gonna look like a couple of fucking bandwagon riders. So
That's the way we like it.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see. But let's roll into the co-main event. This is mine. And then, Jared, you're taking the main event, if I am correct. RJ. Yeah. Okay, so you're going next after this. King of Rio's coming back. I don't know why. This guy, he wants to fight. He wants to fight in boxing matches and shit. He's already got his career planned. He's already a Hall of Famer. Jonathan Martinez wins this fight, man. 100%. I am very confident in this. I think this is a showcase spot for Jose Aldo. I think that the reason that they brought him in, they said, hey, Jose, this card is not the greatest on paper, just like Anthony Smith says. It's not the greatest on paper. Jose, come back. We'll give you a co-main spot against the guy with nasty leg kicks. He's kind of a younger you, right? You can beat this guy. I don't think he can beat this guy right now. Prime Jose absolutely fucking works. The Dragon, Jonathan Martinez. But yeah, man, Jonathan Martinez is nasty. He's improving so much fight over fight. He absolutely just demolished Adrian Yanez. And I actually sniffed out a ankle sprain or some kind of ankle tweak on Yanez before that fight. He stepped off the scale with his slide a little goofy. And I was like, dude, this guy, he's got a fucked up ankle. He's fighting to do with leg kicks. Martinez is gonna finish this guy. I see probably not a finish. Let me rephrase that. I actually kind of see a late finish. I think that we could see a Jonathan Martinez round 3 TKO via leg kicks. I will call it. Jonathan Martinez has disgusting leg kicks, man. And Jose Aldo getting a little older. He's getting a fucking bag to walk into this fight. He's gonna be a hero coming in here. He's got nothing else to fight for, man. Like he really doesn't. He's good to go, and he's already fucking very wealthy, and he's got a boxing career in mind and all this stuff. So yeah, give me Jonathan Martinez TKO round 3, and I'll even call leg kicks is how he gets it done. Alex, what do you got here, man?
You know, I kind of wish this wasn't like a retirement fight for Jose, because then I would be like kind of more passionate on the pick. But I liked Jose in this fight. You know, I think he's the bigger guy, more powerful, way better resume. You know, and he's been active even since he's left the UFC. He's been active, boxing, whatnot, and this is a boxing style fight for him as well. And if it just happens not to go his way, he's got wrestling in his back pocket too. I kind of like him here. You know, this fight's more likely to go over, but I do suspect this might have the Holloway effect on it as well. And I think we could see a crazy brawl with a lot of knockdowns as well. But I'm gonna go with Aldo by like split decision. Not super confident. It's just I think Martinez is improving. This is his hardest fight. If Aldo is really just coming in for a check and he doesn't have that heart to compete anymore, then yeah, we're pretty screwed. But at 135, if he's still got that heart and he's still hungry, I believe he can outwork and possibly finish Jonathan Martinez. So not a super confident pick, but I'll go Jose Aldo by decision.
Okay, Jared.
Um, yeah, I mean it's a weird fight, but I mean it's a good fight. It's definitely going to be competitive, but a lot of
Be
question
fun.
marks about Aldo coming back, and I think you nailed it. I think they needed some more name value on this fight. Everyone's already, scratching their heads as to why Erceg's getting a title shot right now. Um, I think Aldo, that definitely brings some eyes, and it makes it so you can kind of sell this card more than they'd be able to, because take that fight off this card, it's a tough sell. Um, of course he's a Hall of Famer, of course he's a legend. Um, but like you said, his focuses might be elsewhere. And, against a guy like Jonathan Martinez, it's like a younger version of himself. I know Martinez has great kicks and he's super fast. Aldo is the same way. You can't forget way back in the WEC what he did to Uriah Faber's leg. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of Uriah Faber's leg after that fight, but this dude, I mean, he has lethal leg kicks just like Martinez. And Martinez is on a tear, but being on that tear, Aldo's definitely the best opponent he's ever faced. That being said, there could be some ring rust there. There's just, why is he coming back? Is he coming back for one fight? Because if he's coming back just for this retirement fight, although he's already retired and he's already been inducted into the Hall of Fame, I mean, he's accomplished everything he needs to accomplish here. A win for Aldo here does nothing for the division. It's a weird fight. I think these guys are very, very evenly matched. I think it definitely goes long, but Jonathan Martinez, he got that dog in him. He's a younger guy here, and he might just be a little bit faster than Aldo at this point. So I hate to go against Aldo just because how much I respect the career and how much of a fan I am, but I'm gonna side with Martinez to inch out a decision here. I think it definitely goes long.
Martinez. Okay.
And it's not the most confident pick in the world because, we know how good Aldo's been, but it's just how the timing, a lot of this sport, it's about timing, and this is fucking weird timing. So I got to side with Martinez.
Yeah, I'm real concerned if it goes the distance that the judges are just going to give Aldo the decision, you know? So I'm surprised that you're picking Martinez by decision. I think Martinez needs to get it done, and put a stamp on it. But, you know, maybe the judges aren't as corrupt as I expect, even though they are government employees, right? Literally government employees. Maybe I'm crazy to think that these guys are corrupt. We're throwing it right back to you, Jared. You're taking the main event. Alex, I'll let you go second, and I will give my final thoughts. Um, Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. Interesting little way for Erceg to get to the title. Got to be one of the quickest, paths to the title, man. Ronda Rousey obviously having the quickest. She was just given a title, right? Before even fighting in the UFC. So that one almost doesn't count. There's a couple other ones where it's like, they're fucking what's his name?
Say
Um
like Pereira was what 3 fights in the UFC when he got that title shot.
I think it was four. Three or
Was he? And
four.
well, you know what? Granted, too, he beat Strickland, who was ranked like number 3 or 4 at the time.
It was smart matchmaking. It was like you knew what they were doing with Pereira. They're not doing this with
Yeah.
Erceg, though. You know what I mean? So it's interesting because Erceg is very fucking talented, man. If you watch this guy, he's just so good everywhere. He's so calm. He's really, really good at what he does. And he's only gotten one knockout, I think, in his entire career, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that
No, two
right?
knockouts. Two. He did knock
Oh,
out.
his last fight, right?
Yeah, he knocked out Matt Schnell, but obviously his career spans just the UFC. That's his only UFC knockout. His last knockout was Paul Loga, whoever the fuck that is, in an
Five
Australian
and
regional.
four.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So tough look, but I mean, I love the guy, man. I'm curious what you think, Jared. I'm curious what you think, Alex, but we'll start with you, Jared.
I mean, I like Erceg too. I mean, I like the boxing. I think he's very, very sharp on his feet. One thing I like about him in the striking is when he's on the feet with guys, he knows when he should throw those bombs and he knows when to just touch the guy with speed. He's very, very sharp on his feet. Um, and he never rushes the finish. Like one thing about this guy is every time you see him, he has a composure to him that it's just, I feel like a lot of people don't have that. Even in his debut, you can see the nervous energy on people when they have that, what they call the UFC jitters. I've never seen that with this guy. I mean, he's always very composed and he usually comes out with a good game plan. He has scrambling ability, and I think it's a little slept on that he's a submission threat himself. But in this fight, his grappling is going to be tested like it's never been tested before. Pantoja, of course, he's a champion for a reason. Uh, he always starts his fights off with high volume striking, and he uses those to set up his takedowns. And I mean, he's on you. I mean, this dude is always live for a submission. He always comes out super aggressive. I am a little concerned with the pace he sets. It's a hard pace to maintain. Granted, we've seen this dude look gassed out and tired and still get the takedowns after takedowns. It's just I could see Erceg getting the better of the exchanges on the feet, but I'm telling you, if he gets taken down, this dude needs to create scrambles right away. It's a tall order for Erceg. Uh, I really would like to take a shot on him here, but I'm having a hard time getting there. So unfortunately, I'd like to see Erceg win. I think he's going to prove that he does belong at the top of the division, and this fight goes long. But I'm going to say Pantoja wins a decision here. I'm going to give Erceg enough credit that he last, but I don't think he's going to have answers on the ground at least for 5 rounds. Maybe he creates scrambles in the first, second, maybe the third, but Pantoja, dude, he just has that style that he is not going to stay off of you. And it's not he's a one-dimensional grappler and he's just spamming takedowns. He's got power on the feet. He's good. He's a champion for a reason. So Pantoja by decision, it's got to be the pick for me.
Okay. Yeah, I respect it. I think that makes sense. Alex, what do you got?
I kind of like the other way. The early money is coming on Erceg. He's coming down as a dog from plus 200 to plus 150. I really like that plus 200 spot, but the more it gets closer to even, it gets a little bit dicey. But at a 2-to-1 dog, I was still on the Erceg train. I bet on him in every single one of his fights. I think he's one of the better strikers that Pantoja's fought in his last, what, like 5, 6 fights. And I think every second that this stays on the feet, Pantoja's going to get lit up. And I do see a late stoppage for Erceg. I think it just piles on. He has good IQ. He'll keep the fight standing. Pantoja definitely could see him getting takedowns. A double method is good in this fight as well too. Like Erceg by knockout or Pantoja by sub wouldn't be a bet. Wouldn't be a bad bet.
I
Um,
don't think Pantoja finishes him, man. I really don't.
I think I think we see a finish in this fight. The flyweight unders is a great bet, and
Yeah.
both of these guys are hungry. They're in Rio de Janeiro. Like, come on, this stadium's going to be lit up for this main event. And I think after, Aldo wins, makes them happy, Pantoja's going to let them down. And I'm going to go with Erceg gets a fourth round knockout.
Wow, I like that sniper shot there. I'm on the same side as you, Alex. I like Erceg here. I didn't when I saw this, right? We talked in our little what is it, Instagram chat. We were all talking. I was like, dude, this is wild that this Erceg dude is getting an opportunity. But I do love the striking. I actually like the grappling a lot for Erceg too. People don't realize that like he started out in jiu-jitsu. Erceg is a phenomenal jiu-jitsu player, right? Especially defensively.
Yeah, but
Not
he'd be
against
smart not
Pantoja.
to initiate grappling in this fight. I don't think he's the better wrestler.
No, he's not. But what I'm saying is that he's very capable there. Would you say, Alex, that where's the difference wider on the feet or on the ground?
Probably equally on both areas, to be honest. That's why I like the under
Really?
here. I think the second, the long if this stays on the feet for long enough, there's gonna be a finish. And I think if it's on the ground long enough, there's gonna be a finish. I think the only way this goes to a decision is if Pantoja wet blankets him and he survives all the submission attempts, like kind of like what Royval did. Kind
Okay.
of doubt that we see that fight. Like, come on, Pantoja's coming into Brazil as a main card. I'm kind of trusting that he wants to put on a show, in my opinion. Like, think about all the trash talk that people have been talking about his style and everything, that he's boring. I think he's gonna come in here and try to put on a show, and that's gonna cater to Erceg's style.
Yeah.
Because if this were a brawl, guaranteed brawl, I think everyone would be on the Erceg side.
Yeah, man. I actually, I'm on the Ursig side, like I said. I think it happens much quicker, though. I think it happens in round one or two. I think that we see an early knockout from Ursig. And give me round two. I think that, in these 5 round fights, these guys tend to feel each other out a little bit. I would not be surprised to see a round one knockout on either side because anyone can get caught. But I think Ursig gets the knockout in round two. So give me Ursig, knockout round two. And I think it's going to be fucking, I mean, just the booze are going to be raining down. Fucking bullets are going to be flying. It's going to be wild out there.
Be Kobe Covington all over again because they do that every time in Brazil. It's just like the Mexico card. They always like to end in these, these type of cards in South America. These Latino cards. For some reason, they like to end them in controversy.
Remember
Well,
people throwing
unless,
shit at Moreno on the way out?
Yeah, like
yeah.
come on, they love
Like
doing
that,
that.
one of the nicest guys in the UFC
That's
getting
why I
fucking
was
beer
thinking
sucked
Aldo
out
was
of him.
brought in as like a palate cleanser for the team, like because everyone's been doubting. Like if you talk to Brazilians, they are down on Aldo. They're probably thinking the same thing that we're thinking. Aldo's coming in for a paycheck. I guarantee you all the Brazilians are going to be betting against Aldo themselves. But I kind of have a feeling he shows up today.
Yeah, hopefully, man. I mean, it'll be a fun thing. But yeah, these Brazilians, they didn't treat fucking Glover very well. He retired in Rio and or wherever the fuck in Brazil, and they just walked out. It was kind of a fucked up thing because like what a nice guy Glover is, and just a great representation of Brazilian mixed martial arts. And they're just like, fuck you, we want to go home. So these guys don't stand behind their athletes. And that's why I don't really think, in Canada, it's different. In Mexico, it's different. In Brazil, man, they could give a fuck. They've had so many damn champions in Brazil. They don't care anymore about their fighters. So, I think it's similar to America, honestly. Where these fucking American fans, they're the worst fans in the world. They fucking root against their own fucking like, dude, imagine a world, and I understand Aljo is not the most likable guy, but fucking a Russian dude walking into Jacksonville, Florida, and everyone is booing Aljamain Sterling, and they're fucking cheering for a Russian. Like, I understand Russians aren't bad guys and all this stuff. That's a fucking government psyop to fucking.
It's just when you have two guys that the audience doesn't know, they always back the striker.
I don't know.
I
I
know,
feel
but
the same way though.
They always back the guy who's putting on a show.
But if you don't
yeah,
know either guy, as an American, if you don't know either guy, you should naturally root for the American. Other countries are like that. We're not like that here. I think
dude,
it's
look
kind
at
of bullshit.
Tajikistan, man. They fucking go to stadiums at 3 in the fucking morning to watch dudes on the
Yes.
prelims. You know what
Fucking
I mean?
Uzbekistan and shit.
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan, they do the same shit. They'll fill arenas just to watch a fucking fight on the TV together. I mean, they get behind their people. We don't do that here.
Yeah, we don't, man, because we're spoiled here. And I'm sure you, Jared, as a fucking veteran, like you realize like how fucked up that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of fucked. Yeah, it is kind of fucked up. It's like, how do obviously, you don't have to agree with everything, politic wise or anything, whatever America
or
does or has
style.
or knows.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with that, but you should fucking support your own. You should
Yep.
always root for America if you fucking, I don't know, that's just me.
Well, yeah, it's like if you had a neighbor that was fighting in the UFC, right? And you're rooting against them because it's like, oh no, this guy was a dick. It's like, dude, no, like the closer that it is to home, I think that it's important to root for these guys. But yeah, we're devolving out of the point of this. I think that this main event is very interesting. It's going to be a good matchup. I don't think that either one gets blown out, but I think if there is any blowing out to be done, I think it comes on the Erceg side, man. I think that he might surprise a lot of people. That's why I've got him by knockout in round two. But let's get into our parlays. Let's get into all of our bullshit. Then we'll talk a little bit of movies. We want to do this. Maybe we'll talk about food. We want to have a little fun thing at the end for anybody that gets to the end of these episodes. We can talk some fun shit. And because everyone's life shouldn't revolve around MMA, right? It's wild to me that people throw around that word casual, right? It's wild. You're a casual. That's why I call this show Casual KO, because imagine being a casual fan of a sport. What, you have a family, you fucking loser, you have a job, you fucking bum. You're not able to just pay attention to this sport 24/7. And I think it's so stupid. And the people that throw around that word casual are the most uneducated fucking freaks that don't know a goddamn thing. They never thrown a punch in their life. They don't know anything about the sport. And they just like that word
We've
casual. It's a fun
definitely
word.
we've definitely thrown that word around.
Hey, you, dude, we never throw that word around.
I've definitely thrown that word around with some friends, as a joke, but
Well,
we
it's
we
a
use
joke,
that
right?
word, we use that word
Yeah,
quite
there's joking, but then
lose
you
a
see
fight,
like,
you're a casual, pretty
but
much.
no, it's like we say it as a joke, but if you look in like a comment section where someone just shares an opinion, they just get attacked like, you fucking casual. It's like, who gives a shit, dude? Fucking what? He has a life.
It's
Well,
just
yeah, I mean, imagine being a
emotionally distant.
casual football fan, a
And
casual NFL
bro,
fan.
I'm a casual tennis fan. It's a weird flex to be like, I know so much more about watching TV than you.
Well,
It's
because it's
just
a
a weird
fight.
thing.
It's a fight, right? So
Yeah,
people
I'm so
buy,
good at watching other men fight. It's just fucking, it's a
but the
weird
thing,
like validation thing.
well, Jared, this is the thing, man. A lot of these people haven't been in fist fights in their life before, and this is the closest thing that they can have. So
Yeah,
by
that's
being
fair.
able to predict and to have a good opinion about a fight makes them feel like, oh no, dude, I don't need to train martial arts. I'm just built different. You know what I
As
mean? Like,
close as
that's what
they'll
it
ever
is.
get to a fight, right?
Yeah,
Predicting
dude.
one. Yeah, I
So
feel that.
so yeah, what's your, I know, Jared, you always have some things. Alex, maybe while Jared's talking about these, spend a little bit of time thinking about what, any kind of shit that you want to go bet on the side, and maybe you have something, but Jared always has these things lined up. So what do you have for your 14-teamer streamer, your will play? What do we got?
All right, for the whale play, we're going to be cross contaminating a little bit between one FC and the UFC.
Oh, jeez.
Friday night, one fight night 22. It's a good card. If you're gonna watch any fight, watch the main event. Smila Sundell. This girl, if you don't know who she is, take my word for it. She is the fucking real deal. Youngest Muay Thai champion at 17 years old. She's 19 now. The
Is she
girl's
fighting
just
Stamp
fucking.
Fairtex?
No, she trains with Stamp actually.
Because I saw an ad for Stamp Fairtex. Is she fighting like in a week or two?
No, so Stamp is fighting in Colorado. I forget the date on that. It's in a couple. That card in Colorado is going to be fucking wild. You got Jonathan Haggerty's fighting Superlek. That is
Yeah.
fight you don't want to bet on. Just watch it as a fan. Um, and actually, the chick that Stamp's fighting, uh, there's a fair chance Stamp fucking loses that fight. But that's for another day.
Yeah, sure.
Regardless,
Sorry.
Smila Sundell, Swedish prodigy. This girl is the real fucking deal. She's minus 200. I'm gonna have her parlayed with every single UFC bet I place. I will have Smila parlayed with. I'm telling you, this girl, she's the real deal. I am obnoxiously confident she pulls this off. So Smila and the inbred wrestling machine oral buy, those two together, that's my whale bet. It's plus 110, and I feel really good about it. The steamer is going to be a three-teamer steamer. Jakar Close, Jack Shore, and Kevin Borjas at plus 630.
Okay. I hate to throw this out here right now, but you know your success rate of when I pick a dog and you pick somebody in the whale bet, your success rate is very low. And I have
That's all
both.
right. That's
Okay.
okay. Yeah, my whales have been pretty not great this year. I'm like 11-7 on the whales.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah, I
Alex, what
mean,
do you
yeah, if you want to ride it, ride it. If you don't, your mom's a cunt. No big deal.
Alex, what do you got, dude?
Going with Steve Carell from The Office.
Okay.
If you got him at plus 200, that's great. I'd hate to say it gets worse. Hopefully it gets better. But at plus 200, it was a bet. But Steve Erceg money line. Steve Erceg to win. You know, if you want to get greedy, take the knockout. Don't hate it. What's that pay you? Erceg by finish is plus 240. By knockout is plus 250. Plus 400 at DraftKings. Not too bad.
Okay. My confident dogs on the week are Erceg, Shore, Brenner, um, Borjas. Those are I'm confident on all four of those. I wouldn't recommend parlaying them, but if you like any of those fights, I would absolutely recommending taking one of those because I've been on fire with dogs lately. And so yeah, and not just lately. I'm actually pretty consistently fucking pretty good at picking dogs. So Borjas, Brenner, Shore, Erceg. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a fun, fucking, really, really good card, man. People are
Sniper gang.
talking. What's that?
Sniper gang with the dogs.
Hey, I try, dude. I try, man. More often than not, I do end up hitting these. There was a rumor going around that my fucking girl was going to fight Carolina, and my girl is Denise Gomes. I love Denise Gomes, dude. As far as like, not for like, I wouldn't want to
Could have
fuck her.
dropped the balance. She'd be like minus 600 against her.
It's a
Yeah,
pretty similar matchup, to be honest.
it is
Like
similar,
style
man.
wise.
Yeah, there was a rumor that was going around, and I love Denise Gomes. I picked her last time in Brazil. She lost to Angela Hill, which you can't hate on Angela Hill. I've got a fucking pretty nice immaculate card up there from her, and the only reason I like her is because her parents are Betty and Barney Hill. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Alien. You're not familiar
Oh
with?
yes. I did hear about that. Her grandparents like had some alien encounter or whatever.
They're like the first ever, like, really well documented alien abduction thing, like a case or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, man, pretty little. She's interesting because of that, and that's why I got one of her cards. I'm a conspiracy guy. I spent $5 on it because who the fuck wants a fucking Angela Hill card? But it's signed. It's out of 99. I'll take it, dude. So yeah, man, just interesting little car that we have here. I think it's gonna be a great one. I think that I actually have a solid chance of sweeping the main card. Um, we'll see though, man. We'll see. I think that Alex, you also have a pretty solid chance of sweeping it. I don't think you do, Jared, because you're going against us in the main event, but we'll see. You're
I'm
taking
hoping they save
Pantoja.
all the dogs for last. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. But it's gonna be a fun one. Guys, we talked about movies last week, right? We talked about some movies. Did you watch Jackie Brown, Jared?
Dude, Jackie Brown, great recommendation. I mean,
Fucking
that
phenomenal.
was that
The
was right up
soundtrack.
my alley of movie. I had there was the twists, there was the turns, right when I thought I had it figured out, I didn't. Fucking great movie, dude. Like hats off. Great recommendation there. What you did
Right.
you so you watch Fury, right?
I did watch Fury, but I want to talk about Jackie Brown a little bit. So in the opening credits, right when you get the fucking rolling guitar from Bobby Womack, dude, across 110th Street, you know it's gonna be a banger, dude.
Oh,
It's good.
immediately. It's that opening scene, I'm like, I'm fucking in.
And it's Jackie Brown walking down the fucking terminal. She's trying to get to her plane. But like what I was thinking the other day is how good of a walkout song would Across 110th Street be?
Ooh.
That's a
Ooh, that's a
solid fucking
slapped one. I
walkout
don't think
song.
I've ever heard anyone walk out to that. That would
Well,
be
no one
fucking
has.
perfect.
The reason I thought about that is because, the song that Dustin Poirier walks out to is James Brown's song, right? The Boss, right? Paid the cost to be the boss, all that shit.
Great choice.
It's that same Motown shit. Dude, that song, fucking Street Life, that's a good song to walk out to too. But that whole fucking record, the you can actually go on iTunes. If you have an iPhone, you can go to Apple Music, you can download that fucking movies playlist, and it's just a banger through and through. So yeah, man, I'm glad that you like that. Solid
Great
movie,
movie. I
man.
mean, anything of I mean, Quentin Tarantino, I'm already I have high expectations, I guess, but that was great, man. Great recommendation. Anything like that's right up my alley.
Now you gotta watch From Dusk Till Dawn.
I ain't
Mm.
gonna watch fucking dick that you recommend because you can't be given recommendations and not taking recommendations. I would have watched a Barbarian. I was like, I should put this movie on right now. And I'm like, you know what? I guarantee you Alex hasn't watched Fury.
Well, no,
And guess
honestly,
who was
dude,
right?
any movie that Alex recommends, I'm probably recommending as well because The Barbarian, that's a fucking great movie, dude. It really is a good movie and it'll fucking trip you out because I've had nightmares of the plot of Barbarian. Like legitimate nightmares over and over again before I even watched that movie. The just the whole thing. And then like, I've covered it on Cunt on the news show that I do where there's like, hidden fucking rooms and hotels and stuff like that. It's a very fucking creepy concept and it's very well done. So I recommend it, even though, maybe you're mad at Alex for not watching Fury. It's still a very, very good thing to watch. I want to watch Martyr. Alex recommended that recently. I saw that that was a pretty creepy movie. Am I wrong, Alex?
No, you're right. It's Martyrs, but the
Martyrs. Okay.
movie was banned in the US for a little while, but you can see that, and that's a good one to see if you're into very good horror movies, I guess. It's a
I
French
love horror
film,
movies.
though, just as a disclaimer. But From Dusk Till Dawn, Jared, you need to watch that
Yeah,
because Quentin is a main character in the movie.
with George Clooney.
And it's just a great movie. It's like two movies in one. It's
What movie is the one that dude goes in on some feet?
every movie.
Yeah, he's got a foot fetish. But what you're talking about is Dust Till Dawn. There's
That's the one, right? Because
yeah, Selma
I heard about
Hayek.
some scene where like he made the chick do it multiple times to get
Oh,
it
Well,
it's Selma
perfect.
Selma
Hayek.
Hayek, Selma Hayek put her foot in his mouth. And
Oh, and I would let Selma Hayek put anything she wanted into me back because she was like in her
Jesus.
20s. She was in her 20s back then, dude. You want to see a bad bitch? Selma Hayek in her early 20s, man. I
I
would
swear he only was in the movie so he could get that done.
That's wild.
probably.
I swear.
But yeah, phenomenal movie. Actually, one of the better ones. He didn't direct that one though. It's not one of his official movies. He had like a producer credit or something. Another one, if you're into Quentin Tarantino movies, The Hateful Eight, phenomenal movie, great Western.
I've been getting Hateful Eight and Inglorious Bastards recommended a lot.
I would do Hateful Eight before Inglorious Bastards. Inglorious Bastards is kind of slow. Um, but Hateful Eight's great, especially if you like conversation. Just the conversation in that movie is fucking great. Um, what's the first one, Alex? The first one that Quentin made,
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs, is phenomenal. I mean, just watch all of the fucking movies, Jared. Watch all of his movies.
I'm gonna
Everything that
have to.
Quentin
I
Tarantino.
haven't seen one I don't like.
Yeah, Kill Bill is phenomenal.
You
It
won't. You
seems,
just won't like him.
yeah, yeah, he's a piece of shit. Affiliated with Harvey Weinstein, but you got to separate the art from the artist. Yeah, watch all of his movies, everything that he's involved with. If you're gonna take one and watch it next, not just to agree with Alex, but yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn is fucking incredible, man. Great
Over
movie.
Hateful Eight, because whichever one we decides here is next.
Yeah, do them in order of how they came out. Dust Till Dawn's in the
Stuff's
90s.
still done. All right, I'm in.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Now, how
And you
about
gotta
Fury? What'd you think?
I thought Fury was good, man. I actually realized that, well, 15 minutes into watching it, I'd seen it before. I just
Oh
didn't
no
realize.
shit.
I had absolutely seen it before. A lot of these war movies fucking blend for me. My favorite war movie of all time is Full Metal Jacket by a mile. That's
Of
my
course.
favorite one just because I love Stanley Kubrick. But yeah, dude, the World War II era shit is it's next level. Like that's my favorite Call of Duty games, right? Like all the shit from World War II is just incredible. The whole German shit, like all the Nazi, Japanese, all that stuff is cool.
Yeah, we got the boy in straight pajamas on the screen right now.
Yeah, he does. He's straight up wearing that, right? But yeah, it's interesting how just Brad Pitt, anytime that I'm seeing a movie with this dude involved, I'm kind of skeptical. He goes by Ward Daddy, right? Like that's his little moniker in that. But yeah, I think it's cool. There's a message in there where this dude, at the end, the guy that's very he's inexperienced when it comes to fighting. Like everyone dies in the end, right? Like not to spoil it, but the one dude that lives is the guy that like knows the least about it,
Right.
right? Like the private that fucking knows nothing.
Yeah, he
Is
went there
just
to be a fucking journalist and gets attached to a fucking tank unit.
Yeah, see that's the thing where it's like, you wonder like what the moral of that story is because I always try and find these morals. And it's almost like, if you're just doing something because you're genuinely interested and you have a passion for it, maybe God's going to kind of save you. Like I'm not the most religious person, but I do believe in God. And I do believe that God kind of like grants people things that are deserving. And I don't think that guy deserved to die, right? Like that German fucking spared him at the end and shit.
Yeah, that was a powerful scene right at the end there. You thought the jig was up and the guy fucking let him go.
Yeah, so it's like, you always kind of wonder like what I mean, I do a thing with an Australian dude and a dude from Texas where we do it's like Mystery Theater 3000, but we break down movies and we look at it from a conspiratorial lens. And we try and find like these esoteric meanings to all these movies. We just did Boondock Saints, and it's it's interesting to try and find like the meanings of these movies. Like why? Because Hollywood is very connected to like the arcane fucking ideology and all these things, right? Arcane meaning like super fucking occult. No one knows like the real meaning of these things. And there's got to be some deeper meaning to Fury that I don't really understand yet. But I think what it is from like, seeing it a second time fully through, I think that it's like if you're just fucking passionately following something, God's always going to put you in the proper place and you're always going to be good at the end of it, right? Even if you were to fucking die in it, um, obviously he's probably going to heaven or whatever the fuck you believe in. But yeah, man, it's a very powerful movie and just the cinematography and it's fucking insane, dude. It's a good
Yeah,
and I
it's a
don't
good watch.
know much about the military. Like I wish that I did. It's one of my biggest regrets is not joining the military because it seems like a cool culture. It seems like, you learn a lot, you make a lot of friends that you have for the rest of your life, and you experience like the best emotions ever and the worst emotions ever. Like I think that that's what being a human is experiencing all these emotions. So yeah, dude. I don't know everything about like, should you call this guy a lieutenant or a captain or a sir or whatever the fuck, right? I don't know
Yeah,
any of
so
that shit. But it it seems like they somewhat get that right, especially if you're kind of recommending that because there is these movies like fucking Jarhead.
bro, I have such a problem with war movies where I can't get through them because I'm sitting there critiquing uniforms, or they turn and say, "Hey, first lieutenant," and it's like you call him sir. If it's an officer, you call him sir. So I sit there nitpicking shit, and I can't even focus on the movie because the
Well,
shit
dude,
fucking drives me nuts. Fury nailed it. They were very accurate with their uniforms, the way they address certain ranks. They were very accurate. So I think that's why I was able to actually enjoy it.
well, let me ask you about The Lone Survivor. How accurate is that movie?
I mean, it's hard to speak on, right? Because those guys are SEALs, like
Top
special
secret shit.
operations. Yeah, like fucking. I can't really speak on any of the accuracy of that just because it's something that I was never around. So I think it's an entertaining movie. They fell off a lot of fucking rocks and shit, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, it wasn't one I could nitpick because I just haven't been close enough to that realm where I'm like, fucking, who knows if they're right or not? Because I definitely don't.
Hey, I'll tell you right now too, before we get out of here, another great movie, war movie, The fucking Patriot, dude. The
Never
Patriots.
seen it.
What? Have you seen
Is
The
that your
Patriot, Alex?
is that your recommendation of the week
I
here?
haven't seen that.
You guys haven't seen The Patriot with Mel fucking Gibson? It's a revolutionary war movie with Mel Gibson, dude.
Not only have I not seen it, I've never heard of it.
Oh my God.
Look, actually, matter of fact, your last thing you posted that where you guys break down movies, I went to listen to it at work today, and it was Boondock Saints, and I had to turn it off because I have to confess I've never seen Boondock Saints.
Damn, dude. Yeah, you
Bro,
really got to get.
I'm not versed with the
I
movies
could,
like that.
you know what, man? Like, I didn't want to like talk shit when you said that, like one of the scariest movies that you've seen is the fucking Insidious series, right? Because
Yep.
that's like PG-13 shit.
I'll fucking cut it out, all right? I get some fucking jump scares in there.
Next he's
I
gonna say
know.
he hasn't seen The Matrix. That's what he's gonna say next.
Oh, have you seen The Matrix?
I haven't seen The Matrix.
Oh my
Yeah, man.
God, who are you?
It might not hit as well for you because you're not a conspiracy guy necessarily, right? I would start off watching some of these classic movies. Watch every Stanley Kubrick movie ever, right? Especially The Shining, fucking, Eyes Wide Shut. Those are movies that you need to watch. I know you've seen Full Metal Jacket, right?
Of course.
Okay. Watch The Patriot, dude. That's my recommendation
All
to
right.
you. The Patriot's fucking epic. God damn. You too, Alex.
All right. So I got all right. Two I'm watching this week: Dust Till Dawn and The Patriot. And I got one for you guys. You may have seen it, but have you guys seen Uncut Gems?
Of course.
Okay.
That's
Now have you,
Alex's life. Look at Alex. He's like,
bro?
come on.
If you're a fucking gambler, you can like feel the anxiety in that movie. Like,
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah.
movie's such tough to watch, actually.
yeah, that's what me. I think that's what makes
For
it good.
gambling,
You
you're
could
like,
like
oh my
feel it,
God.
dude.
Yeah,
All right.
Alex is
All right.
like
I'm gonna
Alex
shift
is
gears
shaking
to
his head.
comedy. Have you guys seen Game Over, Man?
Game over,
It's
man.
with the guys from Workaholics.
No.
All right, there you go. Game Over, Man. It's on Netflix. It's with the guys from Workaholics. It's a comedy.
Okay.
Good laugh. You'll enjoy it.
I'll check that out. Yeah, dude. I mean, especially if you're a fucking war veteran, you're proud of your fucking country. Everybody should fucking see The Patriot. The
I'm not
Patriot.
a war veteran. I am a veteran.
Oh, you never fought in the war? Well, hey, it's all right.
I
You're more
yeah.
than
I
we
mean,
did.
I never saw combat, so I was in, but never saw combat.
Hey, good for you, man. But yeah, absolutely. If you're proud of your country, fucking Patriot with Mel Gibson. It's a fucking phenomenal movie, man. So much shit in there. But yeah. Guys, we did it. We talked a lot of shit. We went through UFC 301. We talked about some movie recommendations. We'll start incorporating all kinds of things in here, right? We'll sharpen up our predictions. We'll run through them quicker and have a little bit of extra time to just talk about whatever we want at the end for a good 15, 20 30 minutes, however long. I want to start getting into some food, man. I'm a big foodie. You two fucking skinny motherfuckers don't look like you eat too much, but I'll tell you guys about some good fucking food. And we'll see what's up in the near future. We have a fight week. I'm sorry, a fight night coming up after this, after UFC 301 in Rio. But I think there's a solid little run of UFC fight nights and then another pay-per-view before any kind of breaks, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But yeah, lots of fights coming up. Some good BKFC events coming up as well. Nothing this week coming up for 301. BKFC is really good about that, man. Anytime there's a UFC pay-per-view, they're not really running anything. Where you'll see a lot of promotions like one who, they put on a good show. But man, the fact that they try and tell everybody that they're fucking, bigger than the UFC, that's laughable.
I mean,
Um,
they go by their global viewers, which, in fairness, they're fucking massive on the other side of the world, just not here. It hasn't caught fire here yet. They're on their way, though. I'm telling you, man. They're on their way.
yeah, how do we know that, man? How do we know that they're big on the other
Dude,
side of the world?
well, fucking Asia is fucking enormous, and there was whatever fucking thing
China's
posted, like,
enormous.
yeah, and
China
that's
and
Asia,
India. You know what I mean? Like
which
that's
is
it.
also Asia.
Yeah, of
Fucking
course. So is I mean,
yeah.
technically Afghanistan is too, but how many fucking people live there?
I
And how
mean,
many people
basically
are
in the Eastern Hemisphere, they're fucking big, dude. I mean, they're up there. Whatever fucking TV thing put out some stat that they get more viewers in the UFC, but they're not charging the way the UFC charges. Like, we got it good over here. They give like what they would have as pay-per-view events there, we get for free on Amazon Prime or YouTube.
right?
But it'll catch on over here. Wait till this card in Colorado happens, man. I'm telling you. They bring it, they're different because it's not just MMA. They got kickboxing, they got Muay Thai.
Yeah.
It makes shit really fucking interesting, man.
I do like one. I think it's solidly the number two mixed martial arts promotion out there. But we will get out of here. Alex, plug anything that you want. I plugged your YouTube channel.
I'll tell you
Feel
one
free to
thing,
plug that
definitely
again.
ride the one picks. The one picks hit at a very high percentage.
Sure.
One is a good sport to bet. There's 65% of the fights end in a finish, where, UFC, 65% of the fights go to a decision. So, it's a better product. You should watch it at least, watch the main event and tail that bet. Yeah, Profit Picks, find T Picks on Instagram, Profit Picks on Instagram, all other socials. Shoot us a DM if you want to work with us or you want to, tail our picks. And typically sometimes we post them as well. So, yeah.
Like it, man. Yeah, Profit Picks is a nice little channel, man. I'm trying to grow that. So anyone listening, if you're at this point, you support the show clearly, follow Profit Picks and make sure that you check that out. And like the show because you get to see our faces, mostly their faces. It gets dark over here because I don't
You
really
get to
do
see all the
anything.
head shakes and the animated reactions from
Yeah, you get to
Alex.
see Alex shake his head when I'm picking fucking locked dogs. Locked dogs. And Alex is like fucking having a seizure over there. But Jared, do you got anything that you want to pick?
Now, Alex covered it for me. Watch Game Over, man, if you want a good laugh. It's on Netflix.
Sweet. Well, yeah, guys, good luck to anybody betting, and we will talk to you next week with a fight night, I think out of St. Louis. And that was the card that fucking
It's
New
gonna be the
Mansa.
blackest card ever.
Well, New Mansa was out there saying, I want to fucking headline all this shit. He didn't get the opportunity. It is going to be Derek Lewis. He's going to headline, for some reason, a 5 rounder. Probably not going 5 rounds, but hey, good on Joaquin Buckley for trying to get out there and ambush Dana White. It's going to be a fun card. We got a few fun weeks coming up, but yeah, UFC 301 is going to be awesome. Watch him bet and watch all that shit. It's going to be great. And we will hit you guys next week. Good luck betting, guys.